All right. Well, we are live. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name's Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of this crazy comic book industry. World's most charming, charming and disarming, elegant and eloquent, humble because, damn, I do fumble. Man, great big Star Wars fan, and trusted member of the media. It's good to be here on my ropey, pathetic potato cam internet connection right now, which I also pray does not fail tonight. Tonight is going to be an interesting night because we are going to get some stuff clear. We're going to get some stuff out in the open, and then we're going to decide, how people feel at this point about the importance of this movement and if it deserves to survive past so many missteps over the past year. That people are actually afraid to associate with the hashtag. We are going to figure out as men, and well, there are no women here, but the women are implied. If we can fix this, together, because Comicsgate still is an important movement, and the reason why it's important is because it represents the last best hope of the survival of the American comic book industry. So if we split up, if we break up individually, we're all probably going to do very well on our own. Together, we represent a force that can make comic books accessible, fun, non-political, escapist entertainment for fans, and a profitable business that will feed families. And that is something that I'm very concerned about for a lot of people who are a part of Comicsgate. That feels somewhat like my responsibility too, as my channel has become a place where people gather to see comic books, independent comic books promoted, and people find success here. So I am happy to be joined by some very good friends, and we're going to talk about this together. We are going to work this out, and we are going to make some decisions here tonight. And it's going to be this might be heavy. I hope it's not too heavy. We'll try to make it light, but some of this stuff is, some of this stuff's bad. I mean, some of this stuff is really, really bad. So tonight, I'm joined by Ben Henderson, otherwise known as Hennessy. How you doing, Ben?
Good. I'm all right.
Cautionary Comics. Let's see. We've also got Clint from Sweetcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Happy to have you on. Donald Delay's here, but he says Donald is still here. Donald, how are you? No, he's not.
Thank you, Donald.
We've got Antonio from Akari Press, whose first issue of Brand has been scrutinized by the SJWs today on Twitter. It was pretty funny. Everybody else loved it. How you doing, Antonio?
I'm doing all right. It's been an interesting day. I got an email from Steve Englehart. He read my preview and he was telling me he enjoyed it, and I was thrilled.
Yes,
I love Steve Englehart, and I was just like, oh my God, it just blew me away.
That's nice, man. That's a nice. That is, by the way, if you haven't backed Brand yet, now it is recommended by Steven Englehart. That's a big deal. Kyung is here. How are you, Kyung?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Glad you could be here. And then John Malin, who is just what a guy. John Malin, so very, very into Comicsgate. Probably the one of the first professional to start the Comicsgate Phase 2 movement. So welcome, John. Glad you're here.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here with friends. Concerned. I'm told we have some important things to discuss. So I was going to be on War Campaign, but this is the future of Comicsgate, so I apologize for my absence. But this needs to be addressed. Apparently, yeah.
We canceled that, and so we're moving forward. I think it'll become apparent why pretty soon. And then last and certainly not least, and by the way, guys, this is just an excellent council. I'm glad you guys are here. This is higher than the High Council. Great representatives from Comicsgate here. Edwin Boyette, the Pope of Comicsgate, the spirit, the heart and soul of Comicsgate, who we thought we lost for a minute, but we got him back. He's here to join us tonight and discuss this, this topic. So welcome, Edwin.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you all for being here. So here's the thing. I spent today at Ocean City with my family. I walked the boardwalk. I bought this T-shirt. Storm Area 51. Hey, when you guys are down to do it, I'm down to come with you. It's about time we freed those aliens, okay? The government has known about them for too long. I'm a part of that. All right, so I really wanted to walk around on the boardwalk, just get some sun, and really think about some things that were becoming more apparent to me that were being exposed, specifically about War Campaign. Now, last night I went on John Malin's stream at like 5 in the morning. Just like I couldn't sleep. I was in bed and I was just like mulling things over, like all of these terrible choices that were in front of me. That each one of them, if I took any one of these 3 choices at face value, and you can go listen to that stream. It's on John's channel. Then I think it would have meant the destruction of Comicsgate. So if I did any one of those 3 things, it would have been the end, because Comicsgate is a movement that's built on, ethics and morality, and we have rules. And some of those rules, even though sometimes they seem inconvenient, you want to break them, you want to bend them, you can't do it. You have to you have to respect the customers. Having said that, some stuff has come to light. There is a group within Comicsgate that everyone knows, and at this point, a lot of people fear. And I think at this point, knowing what I now know, something has to be done about this. Now, Edwin came to me today with pretty concrete evidence that the very beginning of the problems that we faced as Comicsgate happened because of a manipulative operation by some weirdos within War Campaign, and now I'm calling you guys weirdos. A long time ago, say last August or so, somebody reached out to me by the name of Comicsgate Anonymous. And Comicsgate Anonymous, I'm going to show Edwin. Is this your screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can show the Comicsgate Anonymous. Yeah.
All right, so Comicsgate Anonymous was a weird anonymous person who claimed to be part of Comicsgate, who told me that Nurkish, and Nurkish was on my streams all the time. You have to understand, Nurkish was a good friend of Zach's. He was funny as hell. He pushed the line, of PC. He was just somebody that people enjoyed listening to and talking to, but he didn't give a darn what he said because he was Nurkish. He was anonymous. Nobody knew where he lived. Nobody knew what his name was. He also had a Discord, apparently, that he had abandoned to a group of fans that decided to take it over and use it for some really edgy edgelord, shitlord jokes that, were they tied to Nurkish and thus tied to Comicsgate, would have been pretty catastrophic for our already not so great reputation. Okay. In any case, this Comicsgate Anon individual reached out to me and said, hey, Anti-Comicsgate has Nurkish's docs. Okay. And considering what his Discord looks like, and they gave me examples of his Discord with lots of anti-Semitic, like disgusting, over-the-top Holocaust humor, you would call it, jokes. They said Nurkish is going to be exposed. Now, I knew Nurkish personally in the sense that I talked to him. He had a family. He had he had some concerns about keeping his anonymity. And at the same time, I think he was being pressured by people into being kind of a free speech absolutist, which allowed people to exploit his platform to tell edgelord jokes like this. And then at the same time as that, there was a fellow named Jason Youngbluth who was investigating Comicsgate for racism and anti-Semitism, and he was writing articles about us, like articles that were being published, real big hit pieces. So this person, Comicsgate Anonymous, decided to put pressure on me by telling me that Nurkish Nurkish was about to be doxxed. Nurkish was doxxed if his name was revealed, and his family, was they would have to bear the consequences essentially of this Discord, which Nurkish disavowed. Now, Nurkish, for some reason, thought the worst of this. Nurkish thought that I was trying to manipulate him myself. I wasn't, and I was baffled by his response. Baffled by, all the way that whole thing went down has been a mystery to me for almost a year now. The reason why Nurkish is no longer a part of Comicsgate, the reason why Nurkish is not in this community making jokes, being funny, like Cecil still is, the reason why Nurkish is not making a comic book with Cecil right now is because of this Comicsgate anonymous person, which has just been revealed to be War Campaign. So here's the thing. This disease, they quickly found out that they could kind of listen. I believe things like this. I've been through too much weirdness, as that last post says about Melissa Morg. I've been through too much of this stuff. I believe it when you tell me people are going to be doxxed. I'm protective of my friends. So Nurkish left, and then Nurkish and his friends, I think, started to believe that I was the one behind this, that I was the one who was orchestrating and ordering War Campaign to do these elaborate hoaxes, operations. So we call them soy ops. We're not going to call them gay ops at the assistance of Edwin Boyette. We'll call them soy ops. To control and manipulate members of Comicsgate. Initially, it started out with Nurkish, and then it quickly spread out and grew into other things. Now, in my opinion, first of all, I'm not on Twitter all day long. I'm working. My perception of War Campaign has always been these are guys who make funny memes that make fun of people who, for some reason, have a problem with me. And the reason why these people have a problem with me is because War Campaign has been doing operations about them. War Campaign is out there actively seeking the personal information, apparently via other platforms like Facebook, of people like Tim Lim, of people like Sashi, of people like Nurkish, of people who used to be upstanding, fun, motivated members of this community and of this fandom, and no longer are because of War Campaign. Now, Sashi is somebody who used to be on my channel all the time. And Antonio was just saying, like, Sashi used to love you. What happened with Sashi, Antonio?
Well, I know that she thought that you had maybe instructed the War Campaign to do some of the things. I know Praetorian. I got into it with Praetorian when he was still in War Campaign. And, Sashi and I were hosting Sexy Party together, and, and she came to me. It was, I felt so bad because it was like nonstop abuse. And, go ahead.
Who were there specific individuals from War Campaign who were bothering Sashi that she could see?
It was Praetorian was one of the main, because I mean those tweets. I never deleted my tweets. My tweets from last year. Me and him definitely went a couple of rounds on the twatter because I didn't appreciate it. I felt like he was out of pocket doing that, and one of the things I said to him, I was like, dude, you're in the military. My dad was in the military, and it's that's just not the way I know military officers behave. I was just like, leave her alone. I was like, that's what I'm saying. Now I will say Roe was one of the main ones that stepped in, and he got a lot of this stuff squashed, and we kind of all just agreed to go our separate ways, and I haven't had any issues since. So I need to make sure I say that, because Roe, I actually spoke to Roe on the phone, and we got a lot of things handled. So I appreciated him doing that. So I need to say that as well.
So what is War Campaign, Edwin?
It seems like a troll gang. I've had about 5 former War Campaign guys come forward to me and show me different things, talk to me about various things. Sierra Whiskey even went on live stream today and apologized to Tim Lim for his role in harassing Tim Lim, and that only stopped a week ago. Yeah, I assume it stopped. I've got pretty much all of anybody who is War Campaign or is retweeting War Campaign material. I've got you muted at this point. I don't want to see vulgarity. I don't need to see people like being harassed. I don't need to see anybody harassed to enjoy a comic book.
Yeah, I don't either. So, all right. So Sashi suddenly turned on a dime and suddenly would not, from my perspective. And by the way, this is all about perspectives. It's like one of the most incredibly poignant and profound things about this is that you have to look at what other people were experiencing from their point of view. You know, being in Sashi's shoes, what was Sashi supposed to think? Sashi is all of a sudden being attacked by people who are saying "Hail Caesar" and showing my name, showing my face, and Sashi doesn't know what she did wrong. So in the meantime, Sashi all of a sudden is cursing me out, and I don't know what I did to Sashi. So I think we found the problem basically here. Now Tim Lim is another one. Tim Lim's a little bit more complicated. Tim Lim actually engaged in some stuff himself.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of this is necessary. None of this is necessary. None of this is anything that belongs in a comic book club, which is what this is. This is a movement to make comic books better, to make comic books more fun, and to make comic books less political. It's not some kind of structured club that you have to meet certain guidelines to be a part of. Anyone who wanted to be Comicsgate could have been Comicsgate. We've got people who I know are Comicsgate, who are actively unwilling to wear the hashtag, to fly the hashtag, and it's because Comicsgate is infested with these little motorcycle clubs that will follow you around, will dox you perhaps, or threaten to dox you. I know that some of these individuals have actually doxed themselves over this. Some people, hey, I'm fighting with this guy. This guy doxed me, and this guy doxed me right back. There's a lot of miserable, poor behavior here. Edwin, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, when we had the stream was that Friday night to try and resolve some of these things. Almost immediately into the stream, Praetorian's real name and location was suggested, and this was by Roe. That wasn't an accident, and I've had so many people tell me this. I've had so many former war campaigners who have shown me fairly solid stuff. They don't want to come forward because people have their names and address. Why does anybody need to be afraid for their safety, or afraid they're going to be harassed for a year if they say the wrong thing, or they do the wrong thing, or they do anything?
Yeah. What do you think of this, Ben?
You know, I think it's still ongoing. I mean, as we're talking here, I'm getting a bunch of DMs, and I'm not going to bring up the person. Well, I guess Edwin already, but so here's an issue. So Sierra apologized for his role. Sierra Whiskey, he's a fan. I've met him. He's a customer. He's a big part of Comicsgate. He apologized to Tim Lim for his role, not for anybody else. He's not speaking out against anybody else. And right now, there's a lot of people with WC tags giving him a hard time on Twitter. Why? I don't understand what this has to do with comics. I don't.
Well, Ethan, that is
a symbol of a sword on one guy's thing.
Yeah.
What is this about?
Ethan, that's done to defend you. That's done in your name. So people who don't know anything about it, or making fun of Tim or harassing Tim for over a year, because
and right now it's happening to Sierra because he apologized. When did you say he apologized, Edwin?
This morning.
Come on. So this morning, and now from this morning, everybody or not everybody, but lots of WCs with sword emojis are harassing him. I laugh just because it's silly, but it's serious because it's taken as a threat, and it's not fun for online. It's not a fun comic book event. It's nothing to do. Would Kirby be happy? Would Stan Lee be happy? I don't see what this has to do. What they have to do. I don't see what it has to do with comics. I just don't. I wish it would stop. That's what I feel.
Well, I agree. I want it to stop now. I don't endorse any of this. I don't endorse war campaign. I will never appear on a war campaign stream again, and war campaigners will not appear on this channel ever again. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, and we're gonna talk about why that is and how that's going to be carried out. We're going to talk about the consequences for a lot of this stuff. By the way, Edwin, what's that other thing that you had before that you sent me over? That was like a long, kind of a couple paragraphs long thing.
Let's see. I sent you some redacted stuff from people who said that several people were involved in it, and then I may have sent you some redacted stuff. I've gotten about 100 DMs for people willing to give their backer IDs and saying they never want to have anything to do with backing comic books again.
Okay, that's intolerable. I understood. I got the testimony of I guess this is Praetorian that you sent over here.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Okay.
Is that the one with the black bar through it?
No, it isn't. It's like it says Edwin, myself, and a few others can confirm the. It isn't from Praetorian.
Yeah,
Says,
that's another war campaigner.
All right, I'm going to show this because this is so you don't know who this war campaigner is, or you do?
I do, but he's told me he's got small children and a wife, and he doesn't want to be doxxed.
Bullshit, crazy fucking bullshit over comics. Let's look at this. Edwin, myself, and a few others can confirm the Praetorian drops are 100% authentic. We comprised what amounted to War Campaign's Intel Counter-Intel Department, working directly under Steve Dye. I know who Steve Dye is.
Wow.
We were lied to also, and did things I'm not proud of. What's all the noise? I'm sorry. Whoever's making all that noise has got to get muted.
Might be me. Apparently, I had to leave and log back in because I wasn't being heard.
Okay. We were lied to and also did things I'm not proud of because we thought we were protecting Ethan also. At the time, none of us knew the details of the Nurkish op, but we knew something had happened because the inner circle were lauding themselves that they'd saved Comicsgate again. The main point of this message is that you're 100% on the right track with them manufacturing events to position themselves as the heroes. Roe is a narcissistic control freak. Anytime opposition presents itself that could possibly rival him in the eyes of Ethan or the group, he publicly mocks them, all in the name of good fun, on the War Campaign stream. They respond on Twitter. He drops some roetry that can be perceived as an insult, but ambiguous enough to give him an out. The target responds a little stronger this time, and then Roe unleashes the memers with the until the target capitulates or leaves Comicsgate. This is Roe's MO, with the ultimate goal, in my opinion, to isolate Ethan. I feel isolated right now. I got to be honest with you. I'm losing friends left and right over this bullshit. To isolate Ethan and thus be closest to the throne. I presented this theory to Praetorian and he confirmed my suspicions. Take this for what you will. It's mostly so you can see what you're up against. I would prefer you keep this between the two of us because I'm connected to certain people trying to launch their own book, and it could really hurt this if this conversation was made public. His anonymity is being protected. That's a pretty good explanation of things. Now, there are some weirdos out there who are actively trying to make this problem even worse by saying that I am responsible for this, that I instruct these people to do things like this. Those people, come forward with evidence of that. Do you think at any time that I would do that to this community? I am honest to a fault with Comicsgate. I'd never lie to these people. I would never lie to these customers, and I'd never lie to these friends. And I'm going to tell you something. If anything like that did exist, it would already come out. You know how closely scrutinized I am? How closely scrutinized I am by everyone? You see all the knives in my back? You think if there was evidence of me doing that, behaving in such a way, ordering doxes, ordering harassment, that it wouldn't have been made public by now? And see, the problem with that is it's not just the rumors. The problem is that because people are saying things like that, innocent victims of war campaign are afraid to come forward to me and get the help that they could get from me. And thus, I'm kept in the dark. It's an endless cycle. It's an endless cycle. We're afraid to tell Ethan. We're afraid to tell Ethan because we think maybe we heard that Ethan is behind all of this. And so I'm left doing this. I'm left going, what? They're just memeing. What's the problem? And I don't know these stories about these young indie guys and gals who are trying to get their comics launched. I don't know what happened to Sashi. I don't know what happened to Nurkish. Everyone's afraid to tell me. And when I ask for evidence, it's not forthcoming. And I blame that faction of people who's out there right now lying and saying I have something to do with this. Present proof. Present proof of that, or shut up. People need to be able to tell me what is going on under my own roof. And when you are scaring people, they are not able to do that.
Well, Ethan, can I say something though? Because
yes,
that's one of the things that I have heard. People have DM'd me privately that they've been, they're afraid to say something publicly because then they're going to get dogpiled on. So
yep, that's correct. Well, I mean, they could say something to me privately too, though. I mean, what if people reached out to me in private and said something and said, "This is what happened to me"?
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Okay, I want to share something on the screen real quick. That was tweeted by Gat earlier in response to the tweet for the Comicsgate Anon account. He replied that was him the day after Praetorian did a gay ops without us knowing. That was Prey's account. I always told the numbskull to stop his antics. Prey used it to disseminate info on the Nurkish Discord because of his grudge. Now, I'm also in the war campaign chat. They added me a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why. They just did. But, and I'm sorry to do this, guys, but a lot of them are in there actually saying Comicsgate Anonymous was Praetorian acting alone. Praetorian was kicked from war campaign for acting independently. He is accountable solely.
Yeah,
so well, you were talking about perspective earlier, or perceptions earlier, and point of views. I just wanted to display that point of view. Like, there's always two sides to something going on. I'm not saying they're innocent, but I'm saying that there is somebody that should be accountable for this shit.
Well, we'll talk about that because it's not, I don't think the way to deal with this is on a whole, sweeping level. I don't think the way to deal with this is to just kind of punish everyone equally. But individuals are going to get punished as much as I'm able to. And I don't, big deal. What is it? The first thing that happens is that War Campaign will have zero access to this channel in terms of being allowed to be guests on this channel. That will no longer happen. I will also not appear on their channel. I will also recommend that other comic skaters do not appear on their channel as well. And there are other things as well that I'm going to ask for from them. And I know there are war campaigners in here right now that are watching this. I know that they're watching it on their stream as well. Look, I'm Wyatt Earp in Tombstone right now. If I see a red sash, I'm blocking them. I'm blocking all Cowboys today. If I see a WC next to your name, you're getting blocked on Twitter.
Same.
If I see a cherry next to your name, you're getting blocked on Twitter. If I see any weird club, any little motorcycle emoji next to your name, you're getting blocked on Twitter. Now, that is a way of punishing individuals, not whole entire groups. If you don't want to be blocked by me, take the war campaign out of your name. You're scaring people. You're scaring customers. Your group is now tied to gay ops that have hurt Comicsgate, that have hurt personal relationships, business relationships for me. I don't take that lightly. And have scared off a number of customers, a number of people who were enthusiastic about this movement earlier, and they have every right to be scared because at this point, I'm hearing about tribunals. Edwin, what's up with those tribunals?
The tribunals are where somebody comes in and gets interrogated by a war campaign. Talk to a real gentle guy named George Alexopoulos. He's got that Mary Sue book.
He's been on this channel.
Do you remember when Brad? What is Brad's last name? I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, I'm just holding so many names in my name right now. The handyman fellow.
Oh,
Brad Ashworth.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brad got his campaign essentially destroyed because he was foolish enough he was foolish enough not to follow Twitter drama and didn't realize that his editor had a vendetta with his editor, and Pan from the war campaign had some kind of vendetta going on. And I think we talked about that all the other day. When George saw how Brad was being treated and being swarmed from all sides, he said, wait, this is not right. And then War Campaign brought him into their server to explain himself, and he got interrogated by about 80 different people, dozens of people, right? Why are you supporting doxing? Are you going to start releasing? Are you gonna give up user information from people who contribute? Are you going to help dox people with your book?
Yeah,
from my perspective, from what I've seen, the tribunal is basically just them getting together to chat about a bunch of crap, because there's no limit on who can be on the server and who can actually talk, and there is on Google Hangouts. There can only be 10 people here. Instead, there are like 15, 20, whoever's in the war campaign or on the tribunal, and it's just them goofing off, chatting to each other. It's not I've never seen them say anything about interrogating.
But that
anybody who has been trying to do docs, they've kicked those people out.
That wasn't his experience, though. That he had a miserable experience.
Maybe you're being lied to.
George is a good friend of mine, and I had a long talk with him about this a couple of days ago, as well as yesterday.
Welcome, Jay Ishiro. How are you? Thank you for joining me, my friend.
I'm doing okay. Thanks. I appreciate you bringing me on. George is a kind of a sensitive guy. He's a soft touch, but he also doesn't have a mean bone in his body. And I will tell you, he is scared. This is not an act. You can say, oh, it was all a gag, it's fun, it was guys goofing around, but it scared the crap out of him. So, you might want to question, if this is your fun, maybe there's a problem.
This isn't fun. This isn't funny. Leave these guys alone. Leave these little indie guys alone. And they don't have to agree with me, and they don't have to agree with anyone. They're allowed to be comic book creators and not have to stand up to War Campaign or any other weirdo motorcycle club within or without of Comicsgate. We're gonna put a stop to it. I'm not going to have these guys. These guys are getting zero attention. They're getting iced out. The way back is to quit. Knock it off. Quit right away. Take that off of your hashtag. Stop doing this stuff. Comicsgate does not dox. Comicsgate does not threaten to dox. Comicsgate does not coerce or intimidate. We do not do that. We don't do it here on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Obviously, we don't do that. And this is the biggest platform for people to come on and get their books out there, people to see, support, purchase their comics. I will not have war campaigners take truly creative people like George, Cal, any of these other fellows who are doing fantastic comics. I'm not going to have them stifled because they don't agree with me or somebody else 100%, or because whatever reason. I don't care what it is. We need to be supportive of these indie comics. We need to be supportive of people who want their comics out there and want to grow this movement. And if we're not, we're dead in the water. I don't want to be isolated. I don't want to be isolated. I don't want my friends chased away. I don't want fellow comic pros chased away from me. Ro, you're a nice guy. I don't want to fuck you. Get away from me.
What?
And look, I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to defend anything that War Campaign may have done. If people feel like they're being harassed, then it should be called off. If they've gone too far, they've gone too far, and that should be a no for them. But if I'm trying to present like other sides to things because I like to look at both sides of something. Edwin is getting one side, he's not seeing another side. And
I'm just seeing it on Twitter, man. It's happening right now.
How much, Donald? How much more can
from War Campaign?
How much more latitude can I give these guys?
I don't think you need to give them any more.
How much more
they're costing you money.
doubt can I give them at this point? You've seen me. I make an effort to be fair. People in the chat are like, Ethan's naive. Yeah, of course I'm naive. I insist on being naive. I want to trust people.
I don't think you need to give anybody.
I want to trust people. I don't want to be suspicious of people. If people want to come to me and get some help off of me, get promoted by me, I want to help them. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do after that. It doesn't matter if they're dirt worms after that. It's not a big deal. Just want people to do well.
Is there ever a scenario where a small creator or a fan needs to be mocked, ridiculed, or harassed? Is there any way that ever helps you?
That's never helpful to me.
Never helpful to anybody. And I agree with you. It needs to stop if it's going that far. If the person feels harassed with a couple of jokes, then yes, it needs to stop if it goes that far.
Rose said yesterday that he and War Campaign are a meme group. So why does a meme group feel that they have the authority to put our creators and people through tribunals? Like, where did that come from?
I didn't even know about any. That's ridiculous. There's no possible reason for that. And look, I said yesterday, look, War Campaign, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with these guys. It's like War Campaign. Yeah, be the political cartoonist of Comicsgate if you want to. Make fun of people like me, make fun of Edwin, make fun of the big names. You can do your memes, but when you're picking on fans and you won't leave them alone, and it's been a year, and when you won't leave people alone who specifically ask you to please leave them alone, we've got a problem. We've just got a problem at this point because those people tell other people, and those people create conspiracies. And then before you know it, I've got people who I was just friendly with 2 days ago who now think I'm Hitler. It's got to stop. So I'm going to do what I can. This is what I want. I'm going to treat people as individuals. I'm not going to publish or punish War Campaign as a whole. If I'm giving people 12 hours by tomorrow. I want to see by tomorrow morning. I don't want to see the WC in anyone's name. And if I see it, they're getting blocked. That's a start. Take the WC out. That means that we're kind of making some progress here. And then I'm going to look at people as individuals. Praetorian has a lot to answer for, but at least he's come forward with evidence. He's come forward with a confession.
Can I also bring up one other thing about fans? I have no idea what it is that they have against Bean. But Bean is one of our biggest supporters. She's purchased all of my books. She's purchased both of essentially everything Kat has published as well. She's spent in excess of $250 in just merchandise. And I can't even hold a conversation with her because it will get hijacked by War Campaign. This is unacceptable.
So here's what happens. If somebody goes on and say I wanted to go on and say, hey, Black Ops looks good, or this looks good, or one of these little fans, then there's going to be 30 people that flood in with memes, with insults and profanity, and saying that we're defending Caesar here. This is the idea that harassing anybody, you can't even, it's not even saying that EVS is bad, saying that he's made a mistake. It's just saying something good about somebody who's perceived to be your enemy gets met with harassment and endless comments. It's so suppressive. Like, people can't even talk. You've got people afraid to say that, oh, that's a nice book, because they don't want to get harassed by somebody.
Can I say something really fast here? I think at its best, when I first got into Comicsgate, I started watching your streams, Ethan, and started catching up on all this stuff. War Campaign at its best. You shouted out my channel when I had, I think, like 100 subscribers or something like that. And I had Pan reach out to me on Twitter and welcome me. And I had all sorts of that kind of stuff at the beginning. And I'm, I have a hard time keeping track of who's war campaign and who's just Comicsgate or whatever. But my experience getting into this was so positive, and I think that is where, I mean, you could actually do a lot of good welcoming new people in. On the other end of the extreme, for example, Sierra Whiskey, I know he was one of my first backers. I know, like personally, I've only had great interactions with him, and like to hear that he's been going through, what he's been going through today. It is upsetting to me because he's one of my customers, and I had to go reach out to him, and for him to be able to own up to something he doesn't feel good about, that's what a man does.
Right.
If you feel bad about something and you want to own up because you don't feel good about it, I would never shame somebody for doing that. I don't keep track of all the negative things that people do. Twitter it's just negative generally. But I don't know, when I see stuff like that happen, and George Alexopoulos is another one. I consider him a friend. He's only been good to me. I don't understand why someone like him is driven off.
You know what? These guys have only been good to me. You know what I mean? That's what's so frustrating about it. I love those guys. I love Ro. I love Pamboy. Those guys are hilarious, and they, it's like they think they're acting in my best interest, I think, but they're doing tremendous harm to everything that I believe in and everything that I'm working for.
I like Ro too.
As far as George Alexopoulos goes, I didn't realize who Edwin was talking about. He's always been good to me, and maybe he was afraid when he was in that tribunal, whatever it is, whatever it actually is. He could have been there on a bad day and had a bad experience. I personally don't know what his interaction was, but I'm hoping that it wasn't something as serious as interrogating people, because just from what I've seen, it seems to just be people clowning around in a chat.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
All right, let me read some super chats here. There are people in the obviously there's almost 3,000 people in here watching this right now, so people have all kinds of reactions to this, and let me go through them. And I don't know why the cat's down here. You hear that cat? I mean, it's like I swear to God. Let me see if I can even do this. I might not be able to. Nah, I don't know. Kelsey, what do you think of all this? You're being very quiet. What are your thoughts?
People in the chat thought I was going to interrupt everybody, but I was like, I ain't saying a word until I'm spoken to.
I saw that. That's why I decided to ask.
Man, I just like to live and let live, man. I actually have a great deal of respect for Ro. I think he's loyal, and I like the show, but things have gotten out of hand. I think man, Comicsgate, like I think I was telling you earlier, it's such a heavy word, man. Even I have trouble saying it. It's like the N-word or something, man. But I believe
the N-word. I mean,
I got mad uncomfortable in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's a little different. Comicsgate is a different level.
You got a white southerner in the room, man. Of course, you're automatically uncomfortable. Anyway, but beside the point. What were we talking about? Oh yeah,
yeah. How do you feel about everything, Kelsey?
Oh, I'm just sad. I'm sad, man, because we have such an amazing opportunity, and there's really no reason why we should all be fighting with each other, because there's more than enough room out here. I don't think anything bad should be said about books. I mean, those should really be left alone. Fans should be left alone. I'm up for grabs, man. You can meme me all day long. I love it. Love it. But when it comes to like interfering with business, and I'm talking about everyone's business, not just one faction or another. I mean, we should all be respectful of the game, and try to be respectful of each other, and most importantly, respectful of the fans. So of all kinds.
All right, let me look at this.
I don't know what to say now. So.
I appreciate those thoughts. Logan Cook says, Ethan, how you doing? I'm really confused what's going on. I don't follow War Campaign too much. So what did they do that was so bad? They did a lot of things that were pretty bad. We're going through them here. Jason Green says, "I love all the guys on this panel. It makes me sad to see things this way. We got to fix it. It's either we fix this and we make Comicsgate into what it's meant to be. Kind of a movement against social justice warriors in the mainstream of comics, where people can come who have been blacklisted and work safely and get their comic books out there, or it dies. And then
Ethan, why did you and Doug have a falling out?
It's a long story. Story.
From outside, though, I see that being escalated by external people thinking that they represent you or thinking that they represent Doug, mocking either one of you and fueling that fire. So what I see over and over again is people thinking that they're representing their creator and pushing two men to anger, into fights, thinking that they're representing their various creators.
Yeah, well, there's probably a lot to that, but no, I'm actually peeved at Doug for pretty significant reasons.
Okay.
Beyond that, so
Can I say one thing?
What?
Can I say one thing? I don't think anybody on here controlled or targeted had War Campaign target anybody. I think that was a separate thing, but I do ask War Campaign this, because I know a lot of those guys are former military. Just ask yourself this before you do anything else. Is this honorable? Is going after Sashi or Bean, is that honorable? When you were still in uniform, would you behave like this? I wouldn't. I was in the Army. My father was. Lots of people served. Let's try to keep serving and be honorable people. That's all. That's all. And stop it.
Time Code Mechanic says, "You upset the SJWs. Great work, Antonio." Your book looked good, and they had to admit it. That's funny. Laser fans. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, look at how people angry are in the chat right now on either side.
Yep.
And so why have we allowed the community to come to this point where you believe that anybody needs to be this angry over comic books? This is comic books we're talking about, and there's profanity. There's people talking about betrayal. This is not a war. We're making good comic books and trying to bring as many people along as we can. If you're talking in these terms where somebody that it's a war and somebody needs to be hurt over a comic book or intimidated over a comic book, your perspective is incredibly out of scale. Nobody.
I think it's all pretty ridiculous, considering that Tug is out there having his property, destroyed. You've been swatted. People associated with comics have been swatted. I think the whole thing is kind of silly when there's real life shit going on.
That's a different topic. I think that's actually a distraction from what this is really about. And what this is about right now is the current crisis that is affecting this community and destroying it.
It's a silly crisis is what it is. And it needs to stop. People need to chill.
And it's not just comics. Actually, that's the one spot I do disagree with you, Edwin. And I think you have been the moral compass of all of this, which has kept. It would be a lot worse without you, Edwin. And really, I hope you know that you have put out a lot of fires and kept a lot of people on the straight and narrow. But it is more than just comic books. Yes, for the reader, it is just comic books. For the people arguing, it is just comic books. But for a lot of us, for the professionals, it's also our career and our livelihood. And if I can't sell books, if I cannot communicate with my readers, if my readers are chased off of Twitter, that breaks one of the primary ways that I can promote my books and keep them informed. Because, I can't get CBR to cover my books. Most podcasts aren't going to cover my books. I need these lines of communication to maintain my career. And if my own readers can't talk to me, that's my livelihood. Though it is more than just comics.
Yes, yeah, it is people's livelihoods. It is but as fans talking about loyalty, talking about a war, talking about being able to hurt somebody, betrayal and stuff, from your perspective, These are comic books. None of these men up here want you to hurt anybody, intimidate anybody, make anybody feel bad on their behalf. If you think you're helping doing anything for Ethan Van Sciver, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're degrading someone, pursuing someone to different forums, to Facebook or wherever, to try and make somebody mad or tease someone, I don't think Ethan wants you to do that for him.
Do you understand? Like, you guys, people are saying you're doing this in Ethan's name. Now, you're not doing it in my name. I don't give you any, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't want any of this necessarily done. I find your memes occasionally funny. Meme away. But when you're actually, when you're scaring people, when you're doing little tribunals, when you're doing stuff like this, when you're getting involved in really, weird, like over the top fights with other people on Twitter, where both sides get doxxed, and there's actual fear, there are threats. When people are tricked, when I'm tricked, when you give me false manipulative information that makes me lose contact and touch with somebody who I was really enjoying their company, I'm Nurkish. This isn't helping me. I don't want this. I don't want this done in my name. I don't want this done at all. And so people are like, well, we're a consumer movement. We're a consumer movement. We get to decide what to do, not you. Go do it. Go do it somewhere else. You're not doing it here. You're not doing it on my channel. You're not doing it under my name. And if you do, I'm going to denounce you. I'm going to tell people, I'm going to tell 3,100 people that you're scumbags. And I don't think you want me to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to label a whole group of people anything. But I will if this kind of stuff continues. I mean, at this point, we've got people all over Twitter going, Comicsgate is dead because of war campaign. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That either happens or it doesn't. Either we stand up and fix this, or an entire movement that has all kinds of momentum, all kinds of brilliant creative minds, talent behind it, voices, all kinds of energy. We have the attention and the fear of the mainstream. That just goes away because some weirdos can't stop fucking around on Twitter and on Facebook and bothering people and scaring people. That all goes away. A big movement, a big historic movement in the comic book industry dies because of bullshit, worthless bullshit. So,
Ethan, Kelsey has his hand raised.
Oh, Kelsey, I'm sorry, I didn't say.
Oh, no, I was waiting, but I was,
I thought you were smoking.
Yeah.
Cigarette in your hand.
I'm old school. I was taught to raise your hand if you want.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
We all know why this started. I mean, it was very political. So a lot of the fan base that has come along to support these books are here for political reasons. So it's undeniable. So and a lot of the creators as well have been pushed out of the mainstream because of political reasons. So I understand the need to strike back at that on one hand, but this has gotten bigger as well, and that there's a lot of normies coming in. There's a lot of regular people that don't care. I don't care about politics, but I do care once it was made known to me what was going on, that this wasn't right, this wasn't good. So now that we all, we know that we got all this group, and we're no longer being not attacked, but we're no longer being really scrutinized by the outside. They're kind of worried about themselves now. It's real apparent to them that things are bad. And so now we're this tiny little pool, of the hardcore fans that have come in to support this group for a mission almost. And then there's also people that just want good comic books. And then there's normies who are coming in going, oh, cool, fun stuff. Whoa, what's going on? So there's a lot of conflict in this tiny space because there's very little money for all this stuff. But like feng shui, like good space-saving management, there is a way to move things around and to have symmetry even though there's all these different things, you know, there's a couch over here, there's a chair over here, there's a picture here. But if organized well, people can go and have their own spaces, but we're all still achieving the same goal. There's no reason why we really have to be unified. We're all still achieving the same goal. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Wouldn't you rather be unified? Wouldn't you rather be a part of a unified movement of creative people who have differing opinions, but the same goal?
This group is unified. That group is unified.
Well, I want to be unified with the people who used to be with us but got chased away and are under the wrong impression about what goes on here and what Comicsgate means. I want those people back.
Well, who do I have to be angry at to support Comicsgate? Can I not just be happy and promote good books?
Yeah, but you have to be angry about bad books and the failure and destruction of the mainstream comic book industry, which forces our existence.
But I don't need to be angry at fans or small creators with no power. I mean,
no,
right?
No, of course not. We love them. So, all right, let me read some more of these. Time Code Mechanics is very happy with Antonio. Laser Pants Toy Junk says Edwin has beautiful hair. His hair is Comicsgate. Edwin, if only your hair was Comicsgate.
Your hair unites with all, Edwin.
Yeah, it'd be easy. It'd be easy to manage. You know, you would just Comicsgate would just wake up in the morning and everything would be okay if only Comicsgate was Edwin's hair. Mr. CPU says I've been unduly harsh with Edwin on Twitter. I have to apologize for that. Best wishes. I hope all here can reconcile things. Charlie's London says, yes, I walked around London Comic-Con and people heard of and supported Comicsgate. Plus, I lost The Walking Dead this week. I cannot lose Comicsgate too. We're going to see what we can do about that. It's up to everybody. I mean, it really is up to the people. It's up to the fans. You know, if we lose Comicsgate, it's up to the fans and the pros. You know, we all have to decide if we want this. And, you know, I do. I really want this. You know, I can go off and do my own thing. Sure. I want to bring people. I want to help people. I want other comic book professionals to do well. I want to pull people out of obscurity and give them platforms and make them wealthy. And that's something that I want to do. It's lonely doing things all by yourself. You want to actually, if you can have a movement that helps people, that's what you want. D Loves All Things says, can anyone tell me what happened with Nasser? Yeah. Well, it's messy.
It ties back to the Brad with the handyman, where he kind of stood up for Brad, and that whole thing was. And some of Nasser. Now here's where somebody brought up a good point. There are people who've been too impatient or too unkind on all sides, right? There are ops all over the place, and everybody has their own motivations. Whatever, just give it a rest already. Give it a rest already. There's nobody here that needs to be teased or taunted. No fan should ever have to wade through any of this to enjoy a comic book. You don't help any creator by going at a fan.
Somebody said in the chat, I don't support anyone who backstabs CVS. Let's reassess that and let's figure out why some of these backstabbings happen. That's all I'm saying. There's some backstabs that actually happen and they're legitimate backstabs. And then there are some people who were led astray. And if we can fix that, I want to fix that. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Ryan Magus says that was Praetorian, not War Campaign.
Praetorian's not on Twitter right now harassing Sierra Whiskey. That's not Praetorian. I'm seeing lots of war campaigns with little swords.
I've got 5 or 6 former war campaigners who will tell me it's all throughout the leadership, but who don't particularly want to come out because they don't want to be harassed for a year. They don't want to be swatted because war campaign has their home address, has their name, and these people don't want to be subjected to endless abuse. Why do we need an organization in Comicsgate that makes people feel this afraid?
Right, or memes or LARPs. I don't see what that has to do with the comics community. I just don't get it. If they want to buy comics, great. But I believe that every creator here, every creator in Comicsgate, they don't want to have any kind of online army attacking people on their behalf. Full stop. Done with that. I'll defend myself. Ethan's a big boy. He can defend himself. Malin can defend himself. That's it. You know, and let's just get back to loving comics. That's all.
I want John Malin defending me, though.
I do too. I do too. Let's leave it all on John.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway on the whole thing is, regardless of it be, you know, a war campaign group or fans or people of anywhere throughout Comicsgate, you know, I think one of the big things is we all have to be sure that the fans and especially the smaller creators are having a good experience in Comicsgate, that, you know, we're all working together. Because, you know, if Ethan goes off and does his own thing and I go off and do my own thing and Mike Miller goes off and does his own thing, you know, we're going to be okay.
Except for Mike, because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down to like $9,200 today.
I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
It's just better to pull off that Band-Aid. When Mike read your thing about the fair game on the larger personalities, Mike read that as you say in War Campaign, go get Mike. And Mike was like, nope, I'm not going to wait around for this. I'm off Twitter. I'm done.
Really? Is that what that was?
That was his interpretation. Yeah, that you were telling War Campaign that they could go get Mike. That was fine.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's not what I meant at all.
He wasn't going to hang around for that.
Oh. Well, Mike, if you're listening, that's not what I meant. I meant leave the little guys alone. I wasn't thinking about you. I was actually thinking about me, and I was thinking about some of the bigger names here that regularly get memed on. But even so, I mean, you know, it's just memes. You know, that's not the issue. Memes are not the issue here. You know.
And if I can finish my point, it's that these smaller guys, they benefit. So all the smaller campaigns are all being lifted up. And I think as the years go on, I think you're going to find them getting higher and higher up. And that's because there are larger campaigns up front pulling in more and more fans. So everybody, Ethan's, you know, Cyberfrog, every time someone mentions Comicsgate, that brings people's attention this way.
Let me sort something out. Apparently, War Campaign is claiming that my swatting was faked in the live stream. Ethan, what I'll do tomorrow, my coworker is a police chaplain. The captain of the local police department also goes to our church. I will go and I will conference call you in with this person, and they can explain the details of my swatting.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do that, but you can do that if you want. I mean, this is the thing.
They're doing it. They're doing it right now, and this is why nobody wants association with this nonsense.
Edwin, this is Ashiro again. This seems to be the tactic constantly. Is like, look, we all know this is going on. War Campaign has stepped on way too many people for them to claim this is not happening. And every time anyone calls them out on it, the immediate thing is, oh, you're lying. You know what? At this point, I think the burden of proof is on them to prove that they're not the assholes here.
That's right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I know. They're in the chat, right? There are a few of them in the chat that are saying stuff about me. Again, you know, look, I'm pretty much happy with my behavior. I think I've been pretty impeccable about this whole thing. I give people the benefit of a doubt. People call me naive. You can call me naive, but if you want to say that I'm responsible, that I coordinate any of this, there should be plenty of proof, because this has been going on for a year. So there should be plenty of proof, plenty of evidence. All of you war campaigners who might say that, no war campaigner is saying that because they know. But anyone who is saying that, find the proof and show it. I'd love to see it. I will, I will retweet it. Yes.
I just wanted to say I'm asking the War Campaign guys to do the same thing that I did myself. You know, last year I was angry and aggressive, you know, and went after some people that I felt were coming at me. And I understand that feeling, but you know, I think all that's gone now. We're in phase 2, or what is this, phase 3? You know, let's just make it happy and peaceful for all of us.
Trying to make comics, but you know, here's the thing: people are going, just be quiet and make non-SJW comics. No, we will. We're going to make non-SJW comics, but the thing about this is that there's something that's kind of, it's that story about the fisherman who caught the biggest fish in the ocean, and then, you know, other little piranhas ate at it before he could get it to shore. By the time he got it to shore, it's just a head and skeleton. Look, we're all doing really, really well here. We're trying to continue. We've got all kinds of awesome creative people who are being scared away. They're being scared away because of this one issue, this one problem. We've also got customers that are being scared away. So things have to change. And I am, you know, I'm concerned about that. That is my concern, that we continue to make non-SJW comics, but also allow other people to do the same. Comicsgate needs to grow. I want to promote Jay Ishiro. I want to promote. I don't want to promote Donald. I do want. Yes, I do. I'm just kidding. I want to promote John Malin. I want to promote Kelsey. I want to promote Antonio. I want this kind of stuff to continue. I think it's good for everyone. So some changes are going to be made. Jack Straw says CG Anon was Praetorian. We know. Skeletal Basement says Edwin, thank you for being an adult. Man of Sex says CG Anon is Praetorian, the person who leaked the DM. He did it on his own. He opsed himself. I believe that. That's just one thing. Black Russian Bot says it was Praetorian that was using Comicsgate Anonymous. God, it's so weird because he used to just Praetorian used to just reach out to me. He seemed like he was on my side. He was such a good guy. I can't believe he would do that. I can't believe he would sit there and be an anonymous account that, anonymous accounts reaching out to you and giving you information about doxing one of your friends is a stressful thing. It's a stressful thing. I guess you don't understand if you are the anonymous person that's doing that to someone. That was an extremely stressful situation for me. Nurkish and all the consequences of that, I still hear that out of my left ear to this day. What did you do to Nurkish? You scared Nurkish away. I didn't mean to. I thought I was protecting Nurkish. I thought I had information that he was in trouble, and I was trying to help somebody who I considered to be a friend. And I still have to answer for that to this day. And it was all because of the actions of one idiot.
Did anybody from War Campaign come while that was going on and said, Ethan, don't respond to you?
Nobody said that was Praetorian. Nobody from War Campaign said, hey, Ethan, don't do that. Don't do that, et cetera, et cetera. That was an op. No, everybody covered for him. Nobody covered for War Campaign is loyal and honorable, Caesar, says Ryan Magus. How come you didn't let me know? How come you let me hang myself with Nurkish and look like an idiot in front of everybody and piss off an entire group of comic book creators? If you're loyal and honorable, if you care about me and you're worried about me, why did you let me do that? Why didn't you come forward and sell out just one of your guys? Sell out one of your guys to give me the information that would have been helpful to me. Nobody did that. Nobody did that for me. Yet you're all loyal and honorable to me. All right, Timecode Mechanic says, wow, War Campaign actually were the problem people claimed. Tinfoil Hat says, this is Praetorian's doing, not War Campaign. Well, you're saying that now because he's betrayed you.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem.
I see tons of War Campaign right now. Who's the one that made the picture of Ethan getting beat or in a sexual position with Roe? That's not Praetorian.
That's some other dude.
Right now.
I don't know if that's even War Campaign. I just think that's some other dude, but
maybe. I don't know.
It's like anti-Comicsgate.
But do any customers want to wade through this nonsense? Is this going to bring you more customers? Anybody up here, is all this nonsense going to bring you? What does any of this have to do with reading a comic book?
Mm-hmm.
Degrading people,
right.
Schemes and scams, ops,
scams.
Soy ops. I won't say the other word. I just don't.
Gay ops. Gay. Gay ops. Yeah. Why? What does that have to do with anything? All right. So, and even Sashi says that Nurkish wasn't doxxed. Yeah, I know. She says that Nurkish wasn't doxxed. I thought Nurkish was about to be doxxed by people like Renfamous. That's what I was told. So Sashi would know that Nurkish wasn't doxxed. She told him to bounce and Tim followed. This was on Twitter. So Sashi hated me because she thought that I was in league with War Campaign and making her life miserable. So Nurkish, imagine how all this went down. You want to know why people suddenly hate me all the time? It's because of stuff like this. So Sashi thinks that I'm harassing her using War Campaign. Nurkish thinks that I am doing something awful to him because I've told him he's about to be doxxed. Nurkish has to be asking himself, is Ethan the one who's doxing me? I got to get out of here. Sashi says, you know what? Come over here. And by the way, cancel that Cecil book that you're about to do. That book with Cecil, don't bother doing that. Those guys are dangerous. So Cecil gets fucked over because of this too. You understand the dominoes that went down because of this idiocy? People could be reading their comic book right now by Cecil and Nurkish, but that didn't happen because of War Campaign. It's just one more thing, man. It all stacks up on top of each other. And don't tell me Praetorian is the only one who turned Sashi against me. This is why it's a problem.
I think specifically there's a good point there that you made earlier. And yeah, if people within War Campaign knew that Praetorian was this CG anonymous account, all of them that knew should have brought it up to your attention. Yeah.
Sell yourselves out. Sell yourselves out. If you're loyal to me instead of each other, sell yourselves out. Panboy Lando Soy Child Dong Lover says the Comicsgate Anon account was Praetorian himself. How is War Campaign getting blamed for this? Caesar, you are being gay piped. I think he meant opt. Get Praetorian on to explain. He won't. Blame War Campaign. I think Praetorian is afraid right now.
Yeah, it's not just Praetorian. I'm looking at people going after Sierra Whiskey right now with WC and little swords in their name. What does that have to do with comics, man? Pando, reply to that. What are you doing? What does that have to do with any damn thing? Stop it. Just stop. It's not in my name. That's for sure.
Tug got doxxed and has been harassed, says Great Loner. Are you guys really going to complain about some stupid memes? No, we're not complaining about the I want to make it clear. I'm not complaining about the memes. I already said go meme on people. If what War Campaign was doing, the totality of what War Campaign was doing was making fun of Comicsgate and anti-Comicsgate, and even the bigger names of this movement, by making little Photoshop memes, it would be fine. But that's just the cover for what seems to actually be going on here. You know, there is real intimidation going on here, from what I'm understanding. People are chasing each other onto other platforms, Facebook, going through their private Facebook information, pulling that out, making memes of it to just suggest we've got your info, we know about you.
And Ethan, I'm getting really sick of this. Well, this happened to Tug. Well, this happened to Edwin. So we really shouldn't care about this other thing. You know, we can be equally concerned about things that are wrong. Right. And none of this behavior would be acceptable if it had been done by Ren's people. Because somehow it's War Campaign, it's got to be a debate. Well, is it wrong? No, it's all wrong.
It's wrong. Matter. It's not what we do.
Yeah, we should not use bad behavior to excuse other bad behavior. The comics are too good. So many of you guys are so charismatic. Nobody needs to be harassed, made fun of, degraded to sell these comics. Certainly not fans. You can't harass the people you're trying to sell to. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, Ethan.
Okay.
I understand if you guys want to do, if people want to do a troll, whatever army, that's cool, but just don't associate it with Comicsgate. That's not comics. That's not me. It's not helping comics creators. It's not helping fans that want to just sit back and enjoy comics on a Saturday. That's why we left the mainstream. That's why we left, because we couldn't enjoy our preferred entertainment anymore. And now we have to go to tribunals from some meme LARPers. That's not happening. That's done. I'm with Ethan. I'm blocking anybody that has any gang tag on Twitter. Come on now.
A gang tag.
Have any of you been in gangs? Have any of you ever been in a street fight? Give me a break. This is dumb. Let's just have fun with comics and be calm. That's all that's all everybody wants. That's it.
Somebody in the chat named Free Albemuth says you don't get to dictate the terms to the fans ever. Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I can dictate the terms about access to me and access to this channel if I deem you to be somebody who's hurting other people in my name.
I have given 5 refunds today. I'm happy to give any refund to anybody that doesn't like it, but I want peace in my name. And I want peace in Comicdom.
Just be good. That's all we're asking.
Just be good. Just be good.
Mike H is a new member. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Dallas Deadeye says, and thanks for $20. He says, this all started when War Campaign members were purged from IndieCron. And War Campaign said they were going to make a rival Comicsgate website. If they had not done that, we wouldn't be here. Edwin has a conflict of interest here, Uncle. Edwin is not here to defend himself with that yet. I'll read that again, Dallas Deadeye. He can respond to that. Rebel Comics says back Niobe 1 on Indiegogo, now 100% funded. Logan says way too much drama in Comicsgate. This turns off the comic reader who wants comics drama free. Well, you say that, but there are 3,200 people watching this right now. So some people are kind of interested. and working this out. Timecode Mechanic says, when did Comicsgate become Mission Impossible? What the fuck? Yeah. Faragnar says, several fans and pros are acting like SJWs. Stop. No. I disagree. I don't think this is SJWism. Seamus McCallahan says, this could have been addressed Friday, but you told Mike to shut up, and you mocked his Exianity. Why would you put his Exianity instead of Christianity?
Oh, I thought you meant insanity.
Helped Roe run him over. Last, I'm sending you money. Well, Seamus, thank you for sending me $5. Look, I told Mike to shut up because Mike was gleeful as I was talking to Roe. Mike thought I was going to yell at Roe, and he had a big grin on his face. He even came in and said, can we start all over again with pizza? Because he thought this was going to be funny to him. And that's not funny to me. I'm trying to find out the truth. I'm just trying to find out what's going on. Comicsgater fan 34, thanks for $20. Says Comicsgate means respect customers. Publish comics, avoid SJWs. You're 0 for 3. Our $1,000 pages could have shipped out months ago with the cover art, but you're too busy with drama and SJW Vampirella. I was 37 when I paid you. I'm 39 now. Holy shit. Oh, Comicsgater fan 34. You're right. I could ship the artwork pages out to you. That's not a big deal. And I was going to do that when the art shipped, or the one that book shipped, but no problem. Dave says, just joined, and what's with Comicsgate death? Call clickbait. Crazy Manor 2003 says, you don't deserve this shit, Uncle E. Tetrumo says, disband war campaign. They're either Comicsgate or not. Brian Kriskow said, when I decloaked in the chats and officially went Comicsgate, it was with the full knowledge that I would lose friends. But if you lose friends over BS like this, they were never really your friends. Well, internet friends. Let's be frank, but people who you're acquainted with and that you're doing business with on the internet. Paul Sids, thanks for $1. Mr. CPU says, Donald, you can't do more campaigns. You can do more campaigns. Gat was there. Ryan Magus says, Caesar, you know how much I love you and that I'm honest. War campaign does not dox or anything like that. Hector Lopez says, how come you won't let war campaign defend themselves? I had war campaign on Friday, Matt Hayes says, unbelievable what I'm seeing, right? Unbelievable. So the guy that was causing the trouble kicked out. Unbelievable. What's next? Rent his war campaign? Hurry, someone write a 200-word essay. Edwin the Ace Acevedo says, when does Edwin get punished for his actions?
For what? What?
What did Edwin do wrong? Edwin, you're being, you've got an allegation here.
Okay.
Dallas Deadeye says, this all started when War Campaign members were purged from Indicron. And War Campaign said they were going to make a rival Comicsgate website. If they had not done that, we wouldn't be here. Edwin has a conflict of interest here.
There is no revenue from Indicron. There is no revenue from Indicron.
No, nobody was removed from Indicron. That is incorrect. What War Campaign was angry at me about, I've been through this. What War Campaign came at me about was that I would not refuse independent creators and independent fans from joining our websites. Number one, War Campaign hadn't paid nothing to help us with this. $0 That's been out of my pocket.
Ben, are you part of Indicron? Is Indicron your thing? Oh, okay.
It's been out of It's been out of pocket. I paid thousands of dollars, not War Campaign, and it was supposed to be for everybody that loved comics. Full stop. Full stop.
Edwin,
not just CG.
Did you take War Campaign off of Indicron?
No.
There was one point where we removed all ambassadors because ambassadors were going out and asking for people to sign loyalty pledges.
Yeah, that's true.
To Indicron, and we just couldn't have that. It's an aggregation list site. It's for place. It's a place for people to post, about their comic books. We don't need your loyalty. We don't need your allegiance. It's comic books. I've sworn an oath of enlistment, just like you. I've sworn vows to my wife.
Right.
I don't swear vows to an idea or to a comic book.
And right? I'm not sure where people get off. No money invested, telling us what the hell to do. That's pissed me off.
Swear to me.
They can CG only whenever it comes out years later, but don't interfere with what we're doing to help comics. How are you part of comics doing that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Dan Marshall says it's a corporate takeover
I'll
of
be right back.
CG. How much money do you pay me again, Ethan?
I pay you $0.00, but I'm making bank right now, Edwin. You should see these super chats.
I'm not taking a penny from Comicsgate. I'm more than happy to just be an independent voice. I'm more than happy to just promote comic books because I don't take a penny from it. I don't intend to.
I don't either. I mean, I don't want to take a penny from other creators. I just want them to come on and let people understand their comics. All right, so Edwin gets punished for his actions. I'll leave that up to his wife. Passion for drawing. Thanks for $20. Customers I have that so happen to be War Campaign, and if I appear on their show, I am now excommunicated. You're making me choose between you pros who do little for me and customers who help pay my bills. This is unfair. No, that's not what I said. Customers I have that happen to be War Campaign. I didn't do whatever you want to do. Gengai says, other than Comicsgate creators, you can't control anyone else. People will be mocked, ridiculed, harassed on social media for no reason. Your best bet in those cases is to ignore the goddamn drama.
Gang bang them.
What the hell are you listening to, Kelsey?
Sorry.
I heard gangbang.
Just unzip my fly. I'm listening to porn.
Oh. Yes. Edwin the Asos Aveda says, pros don't dictate to customers, we dictate to you. All right, that's true. Hank Solo says, I used the Lord's name in vain. I apologize for this. Steve Payne says, EVS seems like you're getting played, honestly. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, Steve, but you know, I've seen some pretty good evidence, and a lot of stuff is kind of coming into clarity. You know what I mean? It's coming into clarity. A lot of questions that I had that didn't make sense are starting to make sense now. And I've got confessions from people. I got confessions from people who are saying, I did this. You know, I did this. So that is a thing. Yeah. What do you think of that? Am I being played? Am I being fooled again? I don't feel like it. Yeah.
Why would you need a comic book mafia to defend one of the greatest comic books made in the last decade, Cyberfrog? It stands on its own.
That's right, Edwin. That's the greatest. See, now I'm being flattered and manipulated.
Oh,
That's how it works. Yeah.
No.
All right. Comics Du Nord says support Guardians of Erloth on Indiegogo. Do it. Comic Art Master says I was there for the George thing. He is exaggerating. That's interesting.
He's not. That's not what he's told me. That's what you think, but that's his perception, and he's a creator. You guys don't have the right to do tribunals. Full stop. Not in our name. No.
No. Well, not. Yeah. Especially not in my name, which is the whole Hail Caesar thing. Don't do that. Johnny Dollar says the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Booker T says I'm shocked there was a fire under all that smoke. Mr. CPU says they knew full well they were being treacherous. Lancelotto says knockoff Jack Black is great. Who's knockoff Jack Black? On the panel, I don't know.
Oh, that's Kelsey. Kelsey Jack Black.
Kelsey doesn't look like Jack Black, does he? Maybe a little.
Yeah, Jack Black does have that beard now. It's weird.
Everybody looks Kelsey.
For Ragnar says, don't worry, this is just growing pains. Just fix it. We're trying to, yeah. I mean, Johnny Dollar says Kelsey is like the Dalai Lama plus Cheech and Chong.
I can see that.
Accurate.
I'll take it.
Spark says, hey, Ethan and John, we appreciate you. Can I get a shout out for Comic Work Studio? They did a video in support of Comicsgate, especially EVS and John. They did? John, we're famous.
Awesome. Thank you. Shout out.
Comics Works Studios. Justin Mabe says, how do you expect customers to make purchases with all this going on? I don't know, man. That's the whole thing. We're kind of hoping that you're going to make purchases and we're going to stop this from going on. Zerank says, this is so much like Gamergate. It's nothing like Gamergate. Gamergaters keep saying this shit. It's nothing like Gamergate. People within do things against that's it. That's their one frame of reference. People within do things against the consumer revolt, while the ruinous SJWs maintain control over the things we love. Oh, it's exactly like Gamergate. My bad. Matt Hayes says, SJW Comicsgate apocalypse is here. Unbelievable. The betrayal on the screen right now. SJW. I hope you're referring to the betrayal of the people who performed gay ops on me to manipulate Narkish and get him thrown out of Comicsgate. You know, I would call that a betrayal. Wade Wilson says this soy drama is still going on. Let it go. Chappie says new drama. Who dis? D Loves All Things says I'm not in war campaign. I think it's inherently unfair. It's a one-sided conversation. Have a conversation with Pan and Roe directly with them.
We did that.
Again, we did. Those guys are great. Those guys are great. But see, the thing is, I just don't want to endlessly talk about this anymore. The more stuff that we talk about, the more garbage comes out. At some point, I have to go, yep, I believe this. I believe this is pretty much what happened. It makes sense. And then just say, not in my name. How's that? Just not in my name. And I don't want it around. What can I do to stop it? I can't do much to stop it, but I can keep it off of my channel. I can keep it off of my social media. That's what I can do. Black Angus Review says, seems like it's creators versus fans. That's not true at all. This is just indie comics versus CG only. No, it isn't. Where's the invite for war campaign leaders to defend their reputation versus people against them? Earth Citizen 9 says, great Caesar, this is Praetorian pulling an op. Gat sent him straight and Roe disavowed. This is a smear campaign against war campaign for Indicron. Guys, you know this happened. Nobody told me. How much more shit is there that's going to come out? You guys knew this. How many times have you heard me go, I don't know why Nurkish did what he did. I don't get it. I don't understand Nurkish doing that. And nobody said anything. How many times have I been like, yeah, I don't get Sashi. I don't know what happened with her. And you guys didn't tell me anything. And you all knew. You all knew about it and nobody told me a thing. And so I'm sitting here going, I don't know. I guess, whatever. So that is, that's all true, correct? That's what I'm angry with. That's what I'm angry about right now in particular. So if that's true, answer for that. Steve Payne says, where are the fans on the panel? Umbrella Guy says, hey there, my life is a distraction. LOL, okay. Yeah, sorry, Tug, if I put it that way. You've got a lot going on, is what I meant. A lot going on. We love you.
You didn't say it.
Did I say that or I didn't say that?
You didn't say it.
Oh. Earth Citizen 9 says, we called Sashi a turkey neck. That was it. She sent mean tweets, then deleted them. We sent them back. That was it. No harassment. I continue to see Sashi's face.
Right.
On memes. I saw one yesterday.
Right. Me too.
It's been a year. I don't think she wants anything to do with you guys or us.
And it's not funny. It's not adult. It's not mature, and it's not comics.
Jim O'Reilly says the real fight is Team Jack versus Team Shatterstar. Arnold S is a new member. That's important to John. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas King says, I don't care about all this. Too easy. Ignore, block, mute. If you see people being dicks, unhook their wagon. Let them pull with no horse. Earth Citizen 9 says, great Caesar, I implore you, you're being fooled. Do we want to let a war campaign dude in here, a representative, or no?
I mean, it's fair.
You guys.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I want to speak.
Yeah. I'll step out. I'll step out because I've still got like a pile of people who are afraid to come through because they think they're going to get victimized by war campaign. I'm sorry. I'm not interested. And I understand, audience, understand that sounds very listen and believe. I get it. I get it. I appreciate that. But the last time we were in here, it was seeing the smug smiles and the chuckles, and then immediately Roe used the first name of Praetorian, right in your stream.
All right,
people didn't know. Yeah, no, thank you.
No, Edwin, stick around. We're not gonna. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I mean, that in and of itself, I got a note from Praetorian that said, "Please delete that whole stream. My name's in it, and I'm on the ISIS kill list." So I don't want to fuck around. You know what I mean? I don't want to open up the airways.
He sent me his DD 214 last night. I've seen his service record. I've seen his honorable discharge. And yeah, no, thank you. I know who the man is. He is remorseful for whatever he did that hit anybody or hurt anybody. I know he wants to apologize to Tim Lim. He wants to apologize to Nurkish. He wants to apologize to Sashi and probably even to you for anybody who's caused any inconvenience. But no, yeah. He doesn't deserve to be harassed or doxxed by anybody.
Yeah. Praetorian said, Ethan, Rose said my name and state live on the air. Please take it down. I'm on the ISIS kill list on the Fall of Rome stream. A lot of misspellings in that. I'll take it down right now. How do you like that? It doesn't matter. No, because it's a meme right now. They took it out and they put it all over Twitter. I saw that. Like they took it.
Well, as soon as Sierra Whiskey apologized to Tim Lim today and apologized for his role in anything, people were tweeting at him to let him know, hey, don't forget, we know who you are, we know where you live.
That's kind of what it is. People go, his full name? Well, it's not his full name. It's a message. It's a message that's being sent. Codename Backhole. I think that's what it is. I saw them like, I have backhole, which means I have your evidence. They call it like, oh guys. I've seen some of the stuff.
But the point is, nobody needs to be intimidated over comics. Why do we need any of this? I'm sorry, we don't need. I don't need groups of anybody trying to hurt anybody or run anybody off or run off customers. We'd be better off without you. I mean, I hate to say that because I'd like for everybody to come, but if you're scaring off customers and making a mess every couple of days, whatever your gang is, you're hurting everybody.
Dragon Lords. Lewis. Lance Aledo says, "Let Jack Black talk. I like him."
Love Kelsey.
Everybody loves Kelsey.
Louis A. Jaramillo says, "Yo, EVS, when this whole shit show of embarrassment that War Campaign created is resolved, you should go on a stream tour to interact with the creators that War Campaign has chased away, especially Sasha. I miss her." Yeah, and I don't know if she's ever going to come back. Dragon Lord says, "Let God Emperor Kelsey speak, Lord of Comicsgate."
What am I going to say?
Speak, Kelsey.
I'm with you, fellers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by all this, man. I don't have a fucking clue what to do. So I just gonna be try to be cool with everybody, man. Unless they're attacking me personally, I can understand wanting to fight back. But man, it's so, I don't know. I'm not the right guy. I'm not the right guy to ask about this, man. If you guys all want to have a beer later, I'm the guy for that.
Hey, I'm with you, bro.
I know. One thing I learned about everything in the last 6 months is I'm fucking working alone on my next book.
Me too, man. I'm gonna learn how to draw.
General Grudge says, "I'm happy to hear you say these things, Ethan. You've won me back over." Mike Murphy says, "Personal freedom brings with it accountability on all sides. It's messy but vital. Hopefully the ship can right itself. Best to Ethan, best to all." Castle Arg is a new member. Welcome. Madouine says, "It's apparent to me, and even less than casual comic book fan, that in order for Comicsgate to succeed, everyone must be united. A house divided can't stand."
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I would like. I don't know if we can get there or not, but imagine that. Imagine if we had that. Jake Foley says, "This is why I don't use Twitter, and I only post under my real name. I'm only accountable for myself, and I personally promise to never partake in soy ops and doxing. Never did it, never will." Raging Golden Eagle says, "Keep pumping out good books and we'll stick with you and even send you more pies if that's what it takes." Omega Shenron says, "I've never seen Ethan be semi-arrogant. I've seen Ethan be semi-arrogant at times, but never told anyone to speak for him or troll anyone." Semi-arrogant. I'll make up for that twice over. Hoosier Highway says, "Edward is mad at memes. Only makes me want to do it more." Wow, that only makes me want to block you more.
Yeah, and you guys can meme me. Why don't you meme B Hennessy? No problem. Meme Kelsey. We're cool with that, but leave the ladies alone. How about that? Let's start there.
Yeah. CJ Corella says, "I'll say one thing. Edwin got swatted. He doesn't take stuff lightly. Not soy, not a cuck, and anyone who says otherwise can fuck off." A lot of support for Edwin. Damascus Steel said, "Would creating a somewhat more official Comicsgate entry barrier in which the creators are a bit more separated help?" No, I don't think so. I don't think anything official will work. Honestly, if we started a big company, things would be pretty easy. If we started a big comic book publishing house, things would be a little bit more easy. But I don't
Cautionary Comics is willing to unite to make a bigger front.
Yeah.
We would be called the biggest gatekeepers ever.
We're making our own stuff, man. We're making our own stuff. You know, whoever we like and feel is, you know, you guys are the pros. If you feel there are quality, right? Then we'll all come together. I think that's
think about that. Is there anybody here who wouldn't join a publishing house?
No, I would.
I'm in.
We will. Cautionary would. We've already talked about it. All of us would.
I'd rather have someone do all of this crap for me so I can just draw.
I just want to write, brother.
You think I'm looking forward to packaging over 1,700 books?
Elsie's like, I promised like 3 different people projects right now. He's like, I ain't joining nothing. He's like, I'm a little over.
Yeah.
I'd take
one, man. Only one now.
Okay.
Where do I submit my portfolio to All Caps Comics?
Exclusive.
And can I say, like, I know that a lot of the small creators and aspiring creators, they like the opportunity. There's a chance to network and promote your book when you're brand new. And like, I try to promote as many people as I can. I want to continue doing that. But I don't think what I'm worried about is people, you know, it just sounds like in some of the chat that some people are worried that there's going to be this big separation. They won't have a shot, you know what I mean, of getting their book seen. And I would say, like, no matter what happens, like, Comicsgate's going to grow, and they're going to be publishing companies sprouting out, and I'm sure. But that's part of the thing that I love, is promoting new talent and you know, helping people out. And so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm all about. You know, I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop having people on and watching their comics do well. You know, I mean, when we're together, when Comicsgate's together, we're doing Comicsgate live streams like we used to do. People have tremendous success.
Yeah, it was fun.
They're fun. On the low end, people make $25,000 for their comic. On the high end, it can get up to 400,000 or 500,000. You know, it's pretty good, and you know, it has yet to really be duplicated successfully. There aren't other places, there aren't other methods to mass promote indie comics where everybody succeeds so well. Why would we stop that? How selfish is it? How selfish would it be for us to stop that? And there, you know, I mean, that's the thing. Individually, you know, we can do this. I'm sure individually I could do okay, but I don't know, man. I just feel like I think it's part of our job. I think all of us need to pull together and make it possible for other people to succeed. Otherwise, I don't know. It just seems like a waste of time. It just seems like you're punching in, punching out. But I mean, if you can actually get other indie comics to do well, I think that should be one of the main mission statements of Comicsgate. So I would love to start a big company.
Let's do it.
I was talking to Andrea about this in the car today. I was just like, man, I wonder what would happen. Like, what if me and Zach got together? She's like, well, you know, do you think you would want to take orders from Zach or vice versa? I said, no. She's like, do you guys agree on everything? Not really, no. She's like, you guys ain't forming a company. I said, that's probably right. But, you know, we could still do it. I mean, we could still make a publishing house.
I think we could do it. Yeah, we all have different stuff, but we're all marching toward the same comics book goal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, some of you guys know what I'm up to.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's inevitably Comicsgaters are coming together. So, you know, we'll see. There's so many reasons for us to fix this and to protect this movement. There's so many reasons to do that. Rhino says Praetorian harassed Sashi. I reject him. You should too. I reject harassing Sashi wholeheartedly. I reject harassing anyone. Mojave says, mind Doomcock's mantra, without respect we reject. That's a great, I mean, I wanted to put that on a t-shirt. Like, that's a huge thing. Without respect we reject. That's the customer's credo. Sakaki Onsai says, it's for the fans. Nick Ricada, Comicsgate. Hey, Kanan.
What up, yo?
You kind of froze up there, Ethan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear
you.
Yeah,
I can hear you, Kanan.
Cool.
Can you hear me, Kanan?
I hear you just fine, EVS.
Can hear you now, but you froze up there. You were saying you
now
were quoting.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I back? Okay. Oh, I was quoting Nick Rekieta. He said, "Can you guys still hear me?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
We can hear you. I don't think Ethan can hear us.
I'm with you.
It's for the fans, Nick Rekieta says. Give it a minute.
Can you hear me, Ethan?
Give it 1 minute here.
We
Try to get it back. I see Edwin's frozen. I see Kelsey is frozen.
I'm frozen.
Jeez.
I think you may be having internet issues.
Oh Lord.
Or someone is. Ethan, I do need to step out, but I don't need anything from anyone but to just be kind to one another. I think if people are a little bit more patient and a little kinder with each other, all this stuff works out.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
That's good. I agree. Kindness.
All right. Aloha, man.
Yeah.
Later, everyone.
Thanks, Edwin. I appreciate your being here. I don't know if we're fully back yet or what. Am I back? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I don't. It's not me booming. It's the internet. The internet connection is horrible.
Can you hear me? Is this thing working?
All right. I can hear you, Donald. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
That's what's been going on for the last 5 minutes. Everybody going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this working?
Yeah. All right. I think we're back. Hopefully we're back. I don't know. All right. So Robert Willing says, I'm not CG, but I believe in the values. There's no pure good side here. No one should think they're never wrong. Everyone needs to be accounted for, especially Kanan.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. CPU says trolls compared this stream to mainstream pros. Wrong. EVS does not support subversive cyber terrorists like Renfamous acting in his name. Comicsgate lives. C. Kalinowski says all you dummies would be better off without Twitter. I know that's true. What do you guys think about that? Why are we on Twitter?
For the DMs.
I don't know.
Twitter is like a supplement to the channels and to things. It's it's part of it is to promote your work and your books, but it's also a supplement to interact with fans, and sometimes that goes wrong. A lot of us need to learn how to do it well.
I would actually say, for smaller creators like myself, I mean, I've got about a readership of a little over 2,000. That's like a drop in the bucket compared to you guys. And getting any sort of promotion for my work is very, very difficult. And so any way that I can get my work out there and keep the fan base updated on what I'm up to when the next book is available and where they can order it, I need social media for that. And if I go online and I'm trying to talk to someone and I have 20 people suddenly hijack a conversation and I can't talk to us, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I have no option.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm not gonna be on long because I got stuff to do. But I just want to say first and foremost, I joined with CG really for the unification of why we do what we do, and that's the craft. And for me, like I told you, EVS in the DM, that's always gonna be my focus, 100%.
Yeah.
The politics, all the other stuff, to me is really irrelevant, and honestly, I really don't care. I'm trying to, like I said, just to be able to share my craft with many people and be able to make a living for my family. That's priority number one. And your fans reflect, and when I say your, I'm talking about us as professionals. They reflect us. And no, you don't want to stifle a fan. However, like you said, EVS, you have control as to your brand, and that's if it ever inhibits you making money financially, your family, those things like that, then you have to put a plug in. You have to, reevaluate stuff. But the fans do, they like I posted in Drawing a Quarter. It's not the number on the jersey that made Barry Sanders who he was. It was Barry Sanders who made the number what it was. And that's how I feel about our art. It's a 50-50. There would be no EVS without fans because fans buy the work. But there would be no fans without EVS. There'd be nothing to buy, you know what I mean? So it goes both ways. Respect and honor, man. That is priority number one. And anytime, man, that gets misconstrued, it gets jumbled, and you start stepping into politics, man. It's like you lose what the focus is. And like my wife always says, keep small, think small. And the other stuff, let it go, man. We're here to make comics. You know, we're trend setting, man. We're blazing the trail for, you know, the new folks. I'm a fighter through my medium. I'm not vocal. I don't hop on a lot of people's streams. I don't do all that stuff. I'd rather be a fly on the wall and let my work speak for itself, and it does. And for me, the focus has to always be why we're doing what we're doing. We're doing what we're doing so that we can provide an outlet for people who feel like they have to be pigeonholed in the mainstream media. Like, if I don't do this, then you're labeled. If I don't do this, that is the true focus. The infighting, the bitterness, and all that goofy stuff. Like you said, Ben, that takes away from comics. Ed said the same thing. Like, we're making comics, man. Like, how is it becoming more than just comics? I feel like Allen Iverson, man. He's like, we talking about practice. He's like, I just put up 36 points. I just put up so and so assists, and you talking about I didn't show up for practice? He's like, my friend just died, and you talking about practice? So it's like life happens, man. There's you know, I had my friend die at 35 years old, sudden heart attack, and we talking about politics.
You're right.
Talk about that, man. Like real life stuff, man. Like, you know, folk going through stuff financially, emotionally, situations. Like, you never know what somebody's going through, and a lot of times, man, people. I mean, and that's the nature of is the nature of a fan and a client. They want what they want. They don't care how long it takes. Like somebody told me, every client thinks they're number one. That's just how it is. And it's us as professionals to, as long as you communicate, keep things open, and let people know that all is well, you know, they're understanding. But anytime it becomes like a personal affront, man, and like, you know, there's lines like, okay, sometimes, man, I think people don't live in reality. Like, they think like this stuff is like we in the Avengers or something. It's like, dude, this is real. You know, we're real people. You know, we cry, we get angry, we get frustrated. You keep poking the bear, man. Of course, people are going to snap back at you. So at the end of the day, man, it's like, let's just make comic books. We already got the other side, man. We got to deal with, man. You know, it's like, I don't want to have to fight when I come home too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, dang, man, like, I thought I could get some type of reprieve here. So that's my spiel, man. Like just get back to what makes what made CG and makes CG what it is, man.
That is
Comics
awesome.
that are away
Kanan.
from and breaking barriers, man, and setting stage. I mean, even, you know, dude, before Comicsgate, man, I knew of your work, but now I get to know you. I get to learn about, you know, not in major detail. I mean, we ain't, you know, I haven't actually hung with you, man, but, you know, you're getting to look into like professional people and how they do things, man. I mean, and that's awesome. That's an honor. I mean, that's how I look at Malin, you know, Donald, Antonio, man. Like, all these people, it's like a round table, man, of people, like I said, that you may never even meet except at conventions. And here we are, we bridge the gap between the fans and the creators. And the fans have like input almost on a daily, and that's special. But it should never turn into where it's fighting and politics and who's left and who's right, and I'm up and I'm down and I'm going this way and you go that way, and these factions and all that stuff. It's like, dude, I'm here to inspire people, because I got kids that see me create and they're like, Dad, I want to do the same thing. That's my focus.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Jesus, it's like Black Silent Bob over here. Never opens his mouth, and when he does, it's just preaching the gospel.
Man, I mean,
Nice.
I'm I'm a spiritual person, man, but I'm not preachy, because that's how you lose people. Nobody knows how much you care until nobody cares how much you know till they know you care.
No, I meant that in a good way, not as
yeah, I know, and I wasn't snapping back at you, Don. I was just saying, I mean, that's why though, like the most important thing to me is y'all. Well, I mean, we have to, as creators, the fans are important as well, and don't get me wrong, but if the creators, man, can't create, ain't nothing happening. We just sitting there staring at each other, fighting and getting angry and leaving. Let's create something special, man. Let's don't be like the early Image. They ran into the same thing. Let's be the different. Let's set the standard, man. Let's set something new. Let's keep moving. Let Cyberfrog keep trend setting. Savage Raw Men, Brand, all of our properties, man, are amazing in and of themselves. Don't get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
Use Twitter for what it's for. It's a tool for business. Beyond that, man,
Kanan is saving Comicsgate. Kanan for 2024. Everyone loves Kanan right now. Kanan is saving Comicsgate.
Kanan runs Comicsgate.
Beyond that, man, like let the other stuff play itself out, man, and let that stuff. I had a guy that today, he was defending us. Somebody said something about Brandon. I told him, I was like, bro, I appreciate it, and he did, and I was like, thank you for the support. But like anything, I said, man, just let the thread die off, because at the end of the day, when you don't respond, and that's what people understand, the power of Twitter, you can respond. You don't have to say anything. It's not like anybody's forcing you by gunpoint to respond. After a while, man, they just keep commenting and saying stuff on them by themselves, and pretty soon they're just talking to themselves and just leave. Like I got stuff to make. I got stories to create. We got brand to do, man. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm about what matters, and that's the fans and the creations and the comics. So,
Kanan White, I love your level-headed logic. A lot of women in the chat going after you. A lot of women like Kanan right now, a lot more than ever before.
Well, all I heard was that Kanan.
Here we go.
Said something about how I was the Barry Sanders of drawn and quartered, and something about people not living in reality.
I like that too.
Yeah, John, sure. But I'm out, y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Like, real talk. I'm serious. I mean, every one of y'all. Keep creating, man. Don't get caught up in the mess. So
have a good one, Ken.
Yep. Take it easy, y'all. And Antonio, I'm almost done.
See you.
I was like, all right.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Mr. CPU says Liam Gray says phase 4 he had problems with anti-war campaign. Diversity in Comics Bear says war campaign needs to stop with the ops. $2 donation. Thanks. Tetrumo says Shiro, war campaign is doing exactly what you said to do in their stream right now. What you said they would do on their stream right now. I don't know if Jay Shiro is still here. He is, but he's quiet.
Yeah, I'm still here, guys.
Oh, all right. So a war campaign is doing exactly what you said they do in their stream right now. That's for you. All right. The Phantom says, I just want you guys to get along.
I'm having trouble with my mic. What are they doing?
I think they're like live streaming and watching this, which is, of course, they should do that. The Phantom says, I just want you guys to get along and make good comics. Is that too much to ask? EVS, Doug, John, all of you inspire me to keep drawing. Don't stop. Rhino says, everyone could learn from Blake Northcott's Twitter. Thundercats Ho says, war campaign is broadcasting your live chat and responding. Okay, good. Crypto is ejaculant, says, cut the crap. You knew Nurkish is racist. Ebob Jr. says, there's one spot left. Invite Comic Book Hut. Gimp Rider says, war campaign sounds like Kick Vic on steroids. Great Loner says Ben Hennessy should answer his email at Indiegogo. Diversity in Comics Bear says Nurkish was never loyal to Comicsgate. He constantly used the N-word. This was always a laugh to me. He's not Comicsgate, and Comicsgate fans shouldn't feel bad for him. Sashi's a snake too. Guess what? Those aren't your decisions to make on my behalf, so F you. Ryan Magus says, I would tell you if there was anything nefarious. There isn't. Anthony Dumlau says, I once told you that, but there seems to be a group that goes around turning everybody against you. You didn't believe me. Yeah, I know there is. I know. Math isn't my best subject. Says the good book says the truth will find you out. Is it any surprise that this is all coming to light now? Antoine Dennison says, sadly, Cash Grab was 6 figures pissed away. Mr. CPU says, I think Edwin apologized and corrected his aspersion of the movement. Mike was just hurt, then scared. Understand where they were coming from, guys. Diversity in Comics Bear says, it's cute. Edwin is so cozy with people who defect from Comicsgate. A lot of people defect and then play Ethan's sympathies. Tired of seeing it. Lance Aledo says, make good comics. I will buy them. Boom. Joseph Kerwine says, creators blocking customers. You fought the soy too long and became soy yourself. Mike... the soy and became soy. Mike Jenkins says, hey, Ben, still haven't received my Ravage VIP. Send 3 emails.
Send it to Ben at cautionarycomics.com. Support at cautionary is not working.
Yeah. Pete Mack, thanks for being a new member. For Ragnar says, doxing, purity tests, and chasing people away equals SJW. Attic Hatch Sound says, a more civil tone from all Comicsgate Twitter could set a better example. You can come off as pretty vicious, EVS. Hell yeah, I can. Dehumanizing the enemy can inspire bad behavior in zealots. That's how good guys become the thing they loathe. Nah, fuck SJWs. I think they're dangerous people, and I'll talk to them like the scum they are. Argentico 2003 says, Prey is only culprit I see. Rest is people complaining of Fifi's being hurt. Hope all y'all succeed and have families. You guys sound like Marvel policing fans. No thanks. Matt Hayes says, hindsight is 2020, except bad apples in work campaign, right? So slot and way to approve of this stream. Who's next? Zach? You should all be ashamed. You know who you are. Parallax Spectre says, I don't give a crap about any Twitter crap. I support Comicsgate by backing projects I want to read and enjoy. Hail Caesar. Say no to soy. Go Cyberfrog. Andrew J's a new member. Diversity in Comics Bear says, work campaign has caused damage. Stop the ops. And I'm tired of this revolving door of people who backstab Ethan. It's new people every week. Down Forward Punch says, rule 1 from Mr. Medicare, never have internet friends, ever. Rule 2, Discord is autism. This is all, I don't know, wheelchairs. Be better than the SJWs. Mr. CPU says, DNC Bear, this is the problem. We laugh at and circumvent SJWs. Mike was glad his dislike of War Campaign was just. War Campaign loves gatekeeping, didn't vote for them. Mr. Thundara says, Ethan, I have to ask, why did this take so long? I tried in October and left because of them. Others have tried. I think you owe some of us an apology. That would heal a lot of this rift. Be good, everyone. Mr. Thundaro, I have people actively not showing me evidence of anything. I have people complaining, and then when I say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? They run away and say they're scared. That's a big part of this stream. The reason why they do that is because we have people on the other side who are telling them that I actively work for and support Work Campaign's efforts. In fact, I send out orders on behalf of Work Campaign, and this has prevented people from coming forward with any evidence that would allow me to make a decent decision. Understand, people come forward and blame all manner of people and condemn all manner of my fans to me all the time without evidence. It's not just people saying War Campaign's guilty. It's people saying other people, the Cherries are guilty. These people are guilty. I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Show me some proof or that's it. I got to be fair. Swinging Cod says Black Adam's Poets College of the Dead and Ben Henderson's Offworlder look good and aren't funded yet. Ignore this BS and get indie comics funded.
I agree with that. Hey, whoever you are, I love you.
Yeah. Septinov 7 of 9 says, I was fixing the PT Cruiser. What did I miss? Is it still safe to spend my money on whomever I want? Yes, sir. Jajigify says, Folger's coffee only wishes it was as smooth as Edwin's voice. Argentico 2003 says, creators complaining about fans get chain blocked unless they fall in line. Where have I seen this before? That's not what's happening. You're being disingenuous. Okay. Joseph Kerwine says, oh, well, we should respect George's lived experience. # soy. Swinging Cod says, EVS and Kelsey need to tell some Liefeld stories. Joseph Kerwine says the fish rots from the head and Comicsgate reeks. These war campaigners are in here defending themselves. People who are saying war campaign needs to defend themselves, that's what's happening right now. The Buzz General says, would you consider reaching out to Nurkish or Sashi? No, there'd have to be an intermediary. I'm not going to harass them. They've made it quite clear how they feel. Fan Advocacy Network says, I don't want to see gay ops on Ethan. Well, thanks. Yellow Flash 2 says, I stand with Tug. Mr. CPU says, manipulated your friendships and implicated you in lying attacks and you can't reject. They were not just fans. They had personal access to you as YouTubers. Correct. Peter Gilmore says, just over $8,000 until we hit $100,000 on the case of the Littlest Umbrella. If people haven't backed us yet, there's time for us to reach 6 figures. Joseph Kerwin says, stunning and brave. Vader's Voice Ghost says, here's $2, Ethan. This sucks. It's supposed to be fun. Vince Garrett says, came for comic art, but this is comic fart, and there's a trebuchet. Steve Payne says, pretty cowardly to run for war campaign. Let's see. Random McBranderson says, Roe was using people's information, names, etc., and offering to send you their information multiple times during the stream. He's scum. Did you guys see that? I didn't see that, guys. Steve Payne says from. Let's see. Edwin the Ace Acevedo says, so Edwin gets to accuse people without a reply. Attic Hatch Sound says, if War Campaign is truly loyal to Comicsgate, War Campaign will recognize their brand has become radioactive to Comicsgate and disband. Edwin needs an enema, says Joseph Kerwine. Pencil for Life says, no labels for me again, but I do uphold the Comicsgate ideals from the beginning. Repentance and forgiveness is the only way forward. God bless. Miles Tegg says, the War Campaign Caesar thing is bad cringe. Just be Uncle E, sing about butter, and send me that sweet, sweet chromium. Diversity Comics Bear says, I am so tired of people talking behind Ethan's back and then kissing his ass on these streams. Astute fans see what the snakes are doing. Jerkmonger Elliot here says, this has definitely made it difficult to feel comfortable in this community. Imagine if I was a customer. How will we grow with this mess? See, this is the thing, guys. Elliot, you know, it's like, what if we lose an artist like Elliot? It's stupid. Argentico 2003 says, both sides were mean online. Both are at fault. 99% of the allegations, soy feelings based. Last money Comicsgate gets from me, except Cecil. I'll still buy his book. I love Cecil. Jeff Meyer says, I'm just a customer and occasional super chatter. If you were a war campaigner who contributed to any sort of negative drama in this movement, then quit crying about the drama catching up to you. Diversity in Comics Bear says, to clarify, I've spent 2 years watching people come on, kiss up, gain clout, and then turn against Ethan. They come on and make amends just to backstab Ethan again. Tired of this cycle. I know, I've noticed that too. Orga777 says you should try a publishing house, New Age Image. 2012 Jameson says there's another way than Comic CO. I tell Tug on August 2nd. Saggy Bone says get Mike Barron on to promote Offworlder sometime.
We will. He's ready.
Martyr Media says, hey guys, got my wiener caught in a tree today. No worries though. The neighbor came over and tossed the football up at it, popped it right out. That's good. Tetrimo says, why are we on Twitter? Exactly. Why aren't y'all on Gab? Get on Gab. Eric Lavoie says, Twitter's a dumpster fire. Better use it only to post info. Nothing else. Amen. Kanan Preacher Brother says, Nicholas Cato. Yellow Flash says, this is not Comicsgate. Congo Red Jr. says, Kanan nailed how I feel precisely. Man Bear Pig says, Malin announcing that Kelsey has his hand raised to speak is the greatest moment in Comicsgate history to date. Liam Gray says, War Campaign is innocent. Not blameless, but innocent. Nolan Ert says, I'm making a comic. If I'm doxxed, harassed, just know I'm a tough, big, fast, swole bastard, and I love to fight. I'll defend myself. Now I have to take a dump. Caesar, you're being played, says TJ Swan. Michael Ross says, Twitter's notification system is better than YouTube's. If YouTube's notifications became as reliable as Twitter's, I would stop using it. Comicsgater Fan 34 says, that's great, Kanan. Where's Brand? And that got answered. Septinoff 7 of 9 says, as an investor in Comicsgate, I assume a lot of risk. Has it been worth it? King Archura says, can you hear me now? IndieCron guys have a lot to say, pushing hard. How much does the site stand to make in the future, says Reed Troutman.
Nothing. Nothing. Zippo. We've made Zippo to date.
Ryan Magus says, Ethan, I'm heartbroken you believe this stuff. I will hail you even if you block me. I stand with the truth. Mopar Club Cab says, whoever the guy is who decided to say Tug wasn't important can run into a brick wall head first. Absolutely stupid, selfish, and inconsistent. Who said that? Who came out and blasted Tug? Did any of you guys hear that?
I heard it. I don't remember who said it.
I think it was remarked that Jay Ishiro.
It was.
I think it was just referring to it as something as being a bit of a distraction. I think he led into a good point after that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, I see. All right. So let's see. I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot of super chats here. Turd Ferguson says, we don't want to lose the closeness to creators, the ability to reach out and get acknowledged by the people we look up to. Kanan nailed it. Kanan, I love you, man. No homo, says King Archuris. Gengai says, thank you. I've been saying to ignore the stupid social media drama and move on for days. It will always come up and it will die off if you ignore it. Piece of Power Slave. Should I just leave Twitter? I mean, maybe that's a better answer. Piece of Power Slave says, I don't say much on here, usually drawing. I just want to say I'm buying brand right now. God bless you all. Wow, Kanan sold some brand for you, Antonio.
Yes, he did.
Michael T says, back off worlder. We need to get it funded. Comic Book Guy is a new member. Thank you for joining. Comicsgate fan 34 is here again. He says, FSJWs, except Taylor Esposito. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, okay. All right. FSJWs except Taylor Esposito, who wanted to punch Zach. He didn't. He wanted to say one punch, as B. Clay Moore wanted to punch Zach. And Cullen Bunn, who hates Comicsgate. I'm selling their Vampirella comic with Cyberfrog on it.
I'll buy it.
No. He's saying, this guy's saying that my Vampirella variant cover, the Cyberfrog Vampirella variant cover, I'm promoting Taylor Esposito by putting my cover on his work.
Whatever.
And Cullen Bunn. What do I mean when I say hitch these SJWs up? The last thing that they want is for me to have my cover on their book. You understand? That's called conquering. It's conquering their, their terrain. That's what that is. Tarsik, and by the way, they got no royalties for that. Tarsik $50 says Twitter is the problem. You creators need to stop being personally involved with your fans. Interacting with your fans is fine, but making fans your friends creates issues. There needs to be distance between you and the fans.
Probably right.
But I love my fans. Okay. Kyle Gaggio says, I don't call the SJWs, I call them the Rainbow Mafia. Liberals and progressives are okay, but the Rainbow Mafia bash Tug's mailbox and dox people. Rainbow Mafia, because they hide their awful crap behind their politics. Tarsik says, familiarity breeds contempt. ER says, give me a summary, please. I don't understand anything. Lover Cyberfrog. The Buzz CJC says, as much as we implicitly trust Edwin and Caesar, at the end of the day, their accusations from anything are without proof are nothing more than #MeToo. DJ Kong for $50 says, listen to both sides and don't know where the truth lies. I do know money will make people do Machiavellian things, and there's a lot of money in CG. I just ask creators to stay true to respecting fans. Some have not, and also be careful of over-policing. Yakusei says, please support Keys to Zodia on Indiegogo. Thanks. Cal Jameson says, blameless and innocent are synonyms. And he puts a little kind of smack on the forehead. Razdoc says, the trouble started when you put on the Ouija hat. Oh, I didn't realize that. Remember the Ouija hat that I was wearing?
Yeah, it was great. Did
Mike
you burn
didn't like
it? What'd you do with that?
I think I burned it for Mike.
Oh, a waste.
He said it let demons into my head.
How'd that work out for you?
Look where I'm at right now. I guess not so great. Death Taxes and SJW says Elliot hangs out with Doug. It was only a matter of time. A couple others on the panel as well. $5 message retracted. Midnight Images says Ishiro said it in reference to the current conversation. Don't think he meant anything mean by it. Maybe a poor choice of words. Yeah, I think that was probably true as well. So here we are at the end of the super chats, which I very much appreciate, guys. And I want to know if you guys have any comments. Where do you agree or disagree with what was said tonight?
I'll start.
Yeah.
About the war campaign, I'm not going to block any war campaign people, not as a group, because you know what I'm saying, as long as everybody's respectful, and you know, I got a lot of war campaign people that back brand, so I'm definitely, if you got the WC in your name, I'm not blocking you unless you're an asshole. Then I reserve the right to block any asshole, so I will do that on a case-by-case basis, but I'm not blocking anyone with the WC in their name.
Who else?
Well, two things I have is first of all, I don't block anybody. But I do need to separate myself a little bit from the fans and the customers. Like one of those super chats said, I think I need to pull back a little bit because I get a little too friendly with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think there does need to be a little bit of separation. You know,
sounds like dick pics to me.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
Too close. I will be blocking any online gang as I don't see it productive for Comicsgate or comics. I don't think that Kirby would have been happy with online Comicsgate comics harassment gangs. I'm just not with that. So I will be doing that. I hope that everybody can just enjoy comics, talk about comics. If anybody has any heartburn, no problem. DM me if you want a refund, if you don't want to do all four. I understand, but that's just how I feel about comics and the future of comics and what it can mean for our kids and grandkids. And that's my focus.
I would say that Comicsgate is a business not just for ourselves, but for the smaller campaigns as well. So it's important that we maintain it, make it a friendly environment as much as possible. Swords out, not in.
Yeah. And for me, I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and make friends. I'd rather make more friends than enemies. If I've upset you somehow, my DMs are lighting up. If I've upset you somehow, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm happy to talk if you want to talk. But we might not agree, and I think that's okay.
Man, I'm upset right now. I'm upset at you right now, man. This is
let's talk it out.
Your smooth, sultry voice,
it's
done something to me. I cannot explain it.
Kelsey, what do you think of all this?
What do you mean? Like, I didn't catch the. Well, I didn't catch the last part. It's like things might have gotten. They said I was frozen, so I tried to turn off the thing, but then I had to go make popcorn. I'm taking care of my sick mother, man. So this is all very traumatic. So I had to step away. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this other than to just do what I do and be me and just, love everyone, no matter their flaws or their loves and, hates. And, I really wish that War Campaign did become the Love Campaign. And I wish Edwin and Mike didn't hate gay people. And no, I know, I'm just teasing. Man, this is so fucking, this is making me feel like fucking story shit burgers, man. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, man.
All right, don't worry about it.
I do like the idea of a publishing.
I love the idea of a publishing house too. It's something to think about. Here's what I think. I just think that, frankly, it's got to get back to the comics. This is a business, and I'm trying to promote people, and I've got people who I think they mean well. I think War Campaign means well, but they're lying to me. They're using my name and they're hurting people and scaring people. They're scaring people away from me. I think they think they're doing it to help me. I think they think that they're chasing away disloyal people or people who are bound to hurt me. But they are hurting me by doing this and the way that they're doing it. And it's awful. It's an awful situation because I've got people who think that I am approving of this, that I'm aware of it, and that I support it, endorse it, I'm a part of it. That is an intolerable state of affairs for me. You guys have to understand. That is absolutely intolerable. I can't have that. That can't be the case. So I am saying I don't trust War Campaign. I don't trust you guys. I don't trust you guys because I feel like it's been demonstrated, and you guys even admitted it, that you knew Praetorian as a start, pulled some kind of weirdo ops on Nurkish, and that caused a whole ripple effect of awful things for Comicsgate, and none of you came forward and told me about it. I had to find out about it from Edwin. So, and by the way, a year later. So you're gonna have to pardon me if you guys are upset that I am a little bit angry and peeved, and I am now taking everything seriously. Every accusation against Work Campaign, I got to listen to now. I got to listen to, and you guys say, "Well, let me defend myself," and I say, "Well, why wouldn't you guys, when you knew and you heard me a million times talking about how awful this situation was, why wasn't I informed?" You know, it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, you know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing, but I don't know what to say.
Hey,
all right.
Can I say something, Ethan, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Everybody loves that umbrella guy. Nobody thinks what's happened to him is a distraction. I'm not sure if anybody said that off the cuff, but on Twitter, that's just BS. We've all been Tug's allies and advocates and friends for over a year. So that kind of BS, I just reject. Everybody tagging me in that, I reject. It's bullshit. End of story.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And it's Jay Sim says Tug and Yellow Flash are really mad over this. Please reach out. Oh, well, we will, and I'm sure Jay Shiro will probably apologize to him.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Star Trek. There's an episode of Next Generation where there's this society that had created genetically enhanced super soldiers, and to fight their wars. And when their wars were over, the soldiers had a hard time reintegrating, and because they're bred for war.
I saw that. That's a good episode.
It was a good episode, but in the end, they're left with a choice to make of whether or not to figure out how to unify, or who knows? They left the end. I wish they'd finished, because then I'd have the answers to all this. But it just kind of dawned on me. It just, because these guys were. I almost wish they would go and help the Kick Vic stuff, or the Tug and all that business. I have no clue what's going on over there, but it seems like that's where the war has moved. But I know these guys are comic book guys; they're loyal to that, so there's really no reason for them to do anime. I don't know. I don't. All of this is a little weird too. This kind of. I know we want to make all this public, and it just feels really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I like these guys. I don't agree with everything they're doing, or some of them. I like Mike and Edwin also, but I don't agree with some of the stuff they're doing. And it's like, well, as a peacemaker, it's like, well, maybe we can find a common ground, but it's still real raw right now, man. It might take some time to heal this wound,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Kelsey. I don't know who to trust now.
Well, trust yourself, man. Trust yourself. Do your thing. They're going to have to take care of themselves right now. To be quite honest, but I don't know. I agree with you too. This is chasing away customers. So one side, I don't know if either side is going to give, and at least not right now. And I fear a fear of any escalation. In the meantime, I'd hate for someone to get hurt or something before we all realize that, man.
See what I'm saying? Like, I fear escalation. Just see what you said?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that right there says it all, man. That just says it all. Like, people are like, well, I got to be quiet or Work Campaign is going to escalate. That's bullshit. And I mean, Work Campaign, if you're listening, I mean, what Kelsey just said, Kelsey's not soy. What Kelsey just said should say something to you. He's speaking not about himself. He's speaking on behalf of other fans. And that just came out of his mouth. He didn't even think about it.
I rarely
have to realize. You have to realize this perception that you have right now. And that perception is bleeding over onto me, because you guys say that you're protective of me, you care about me. I don't feel cared about. I don't feel cared about at all. You know, I don't feel like you guys respect me. I don't feel like you guys are honest with me or defend me. And I gotta cut you off. If this is how things are, I gotta cut you guys out. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's reality. You guys know of things. You're allowing things to happen. You're putting things into motion that make me look bad to my customers, and that's just not a thing. That's not tolerable. You know, and every time it's like even if you guys are innocent, there's this perception out there. There's a really bad perception of you guys that you're going to hurt people. That's a PR thing that you guys have to work out amongst yourselves. I can't be a part of that. What am I supposed to, full time be promoting war campaign and letting people know that you guys aren't going to hurt people? There are all these guys that are coming forward saying that you put them in tribunals, that you threaten doxing them. All this stuff, man. This is just it's a lot of fucking disaster. Let me read a lot of super chats are coming in again. Going to bed, Kane and White is awesome. So Richard Lewis. Swinging Cut says, EVS, we need a Kelsey emoji for the members. Kelsey, do you mind being an emoji?
No, I love that stuff.
Is there going to be a head surrounded by smoke?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Well, we got Shut Up Malin on our channel. So
yeah, more of that.
Jay Sim says, Tug and Yellow Flash are really mad about this. Matt Civilar says, we need to be welcoming to grow the movement. Unfortunately, most of what I've seen from War Campaign hasn't been that. I want to see Comicsgate grow. Yeah, me too, obviously. Antoine Dennison says, a publishing house or fulfillment house, 100%. Fulfillment house would be an enormous undertaking. We'd have to hire people. Have to hire a lot of people. Here's Comicsgater Fan 34 again. A year later, and you're harnessing SJWs and no Cyberfrog. How much more goddamn Cyberfrog evidence do I need to show you? I showed you the entire book. I explained everything about it. You watched me draw it for 8 months. It is, currently being printed, and I've shown you everything. I'm sorry that it's a year later. I really am. I intended the whole purpose of this was for me to do the best comic book that I could do. That was why you guys funded me. I told you what I was doing. I'm sorry that
it's hard doing it independently.
Well,
I just started it.
Everything takes longer than you thought it was going to take when all you are is a comic book artist who's never had to produce a comic book before. And I learned everything from it. But yeah, of course, a year later, I'm still harnessing SJWs, and 3 years from now, I will be too.
It's extremely difficult to do this.
Hey, Elliot.
Hey, man.
What?
Elliot's here.
Hey, Elliot.
Hey. What's up, party people?
This job is so much
Elliot,
harder than people think.
It really is.
I'm struggling to find time every day because it takes so much time to do a page, and all this real world stuff gets in the way. I got to go shopping. I got to do this. I got to help my mom. I got to go get my car fixed next week. I got to go. It's just nonstop phone calls, internet stuff, and then you got to somehow focus for at least 6 hours or more. It used to take me 16 hours to do a page. And the only reason I'm at 6 hours now is because I worked extremely hard to learn a system, like what Elliot and I were talking about this the other day. And it's hard to communicate that to people that don't understand. They think we're just drawing pictures, but oh my gosh, I feel like I've dug ditches, and I have dug ditches and unloaded trucks, and I did that for a long time, and I'm no less exhausted at the end of each day from drawing comics. So.
Sketch Therapy, by the way, just to let you know, I'm reading you, Sketch. I don't blame you for nothing, and I'm not blocking you. I'm not punishing you at all. Just be good. That's all. You're a good guy. Elliot, I'm glad you're here.
Right on.
I get the message loud and clear that you're here. Is there a message that you're here that you're sending me?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was a kid in the Bronx, I remember I was involved in some ridiculous stuff. It was crazy over some girl, and I was walking out of school one day. This is before I moved to Florida, and I was going into a bakery, and her cousins decided to make me a target, right? And this is not about victimhood. That's not what this is about. This is about the business. They confronted me inside of a bakery. It was like 6 of them to jump on me in a bakery. Now, I want you to understand, we weren't the only 7 people in that. There were like a good 6 other people in there, and they jumped me in that bakery, and the owners of the shop kicked us out. Why would they kick us out? They kicked us out because made their business look bad. And so while we were all customers, and I was certainly in the middle of eating my donut, it made that business, it made them harder to sell to any of the other customers that were there. So this is really a matter of business. And I think I think the problem here is that there's a confusion about what a customer is and what people who come in that terrorize that space for other customers. That's all this is.
That's excellent, man.
That's all this is. So I understand you guys are customers, and I don't want anybody to leave if you want to buy my donuts. But for crying out loud, if you make it uncomfortable for everybody else to purchase something, then my business will sink, and there'll be no more Comicsgate. There'll be no more independent stuff. There'll be no more. And that's just a matter of fact.
You guys got that? Thank you, Elliot. God, Elliot's here. You guys got that? Work campaigners, people associated with Work Campaign, people who are sympathetic to Work Campaign. Do you fucking understand that? It's so easy to get. That's all it is.
So I guess if you guys don't understand that, I guess I can understand why you would feel that way. But at the end of the day, you guys have to make a decision. You need to take that business somewhere else. I want to keep the store doors open. And it's hard, like you said, Kelsey, it's hard enough, man. I just got through a campaign and wrapped it up, and people are just fighting each other. And no, I'm not proud of all of us. I feel like we've all done some crazy stuff, and I wish we could have all communicated a little differently. And I'm not trying to be a pacifist. I'm just saying, man, if we all will listen to each other for a second, we might have heard some stuff. But instead, people yelled, people get angry. Then what happens is it just pours out into the streets. And by the way, I did get beat up that day, and it was embarrassing. So and so if I want to turn it the other way around as the one being harassed, I was embarrassed. And then guess what? I had to leave that place. I never went back to that school after that because it was too aggressive. Now, no one's getting beat up here physically. I understand that as well. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, it's hard enough, man. I work all day long. I've been up all night trying to sell some stuff. We had Brian Shearer had some stuff going on, and he was wrapping up his campaign on Friday. People were more angry about this stuff over here. And I'm like, man, what are opportunities we missed because everybody's fighting. So I'm with you guys, and I'm with Mike in this regard. I care about the customers, whether you're in CG or outside of CG. I care about customers. I want to grow this atmosphere. I want to grow this environment. I want to see new customers come in. And no, I don't want the riffraff, and I don't want the people who are picketing outside our store either. That's for that other side, for the SJW group. I don't want that stuff either. But damn it, man, give me a chance to run my damn shop. That's all. That's all. And that's why it's been difficult, because all of a sudden, because we're part of this weird culture, that's one of the reasons why I've kind of separated myself so much, because I really want to I need to kind of establish this business. I barely got it off the damn ground. God damn it. So, yeah, man, please.
This is the best Elliot's ever been. I'm enraptured by this. Thank you, Elliot.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize to everyone that maybe you probably like, oh my God, Ellie just cursed. Yeah, I cursed.
No, man, I've been cursing this whole stream, but I'm like, my IQ is like half of yours. So I really appreciate it.
I'm an idiot, man. Listen, you're handling your business. I respect everybody's hustle. Everybody's hustle, man. And we all are trying to do it different ways. I'm trying to do it my way. But I think at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is nurture an environment, an atmosphere where everybody can try their thing, man, and bring it together. Maybe we'll learn from each other, but not like this, man.
You're right.
Excuse my French, but this is a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys can't hear that, I got more for you. But the reality is, I'm not going to sit here and let a bunch of hooligans interrupt what we're trying to do. Period. Period. Period.
What are we trying to do?
We're creating an atmosphere. We're creating books. We're making hot dogs. We're making donuts, however you want to call it. And we're trying to bring in more people so that this thing will grow, man. There's no way we're gonna. Already, the comics industry is on the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Magic Carpet Ride says, "I want Malin a curse." No, thank you. I won't bring myself to Elliot's level.
No, I'm a degenerate all the way. I'm a 100% degeneracy over
Won't
here.
bring yourself up to Elliot's level.
Yeah, guys. Yes. A million times yes. We've got so much potential, so much opportunity.
And you know what? There's people saying, I read some of the chat. Oh, I remember Elliot talked about this. Yeah, you know what? You remember me saying stuff because at the time, things were different. At the time, now we're trying to build something. Things are finally laid down, man. Give us a chance to grow it.
People are talking about Comicsgate is dead. People are talking about it's over. People are talking about, oh my God, war campaign killed Comicsgate. All these things, all this horrible stuff that's discouraging people. By the way, discouraging customers, but also discouraging, small creators who are looking at us right now to set an example. And there are lots of them. I don't know about you guys. I get messages all day long from guys who are just like, I want to be a comic book. I want to do what you're doing. I want to be a comic book creator, but I need to know how to get started. And can I be part of Comicsgate? Yeah, you can if there's still a Comicsgate. It's incumbent on us, man. We have to protect this thing. We got to protect it. We got to protect it because it is business. It represents prosperity. It represents hope. It represents the opportunity for lots of creative people to get in and make comic books that are great and be able to feed and provide for their families by doing it. And if it goes away, we fucked up big time. We owe this, man. We owe everyone this. We owe everyone our best efforts. We owe everyone our best behavior. We owe everyone great comics and great entertainment.
I said that earlier. I said on a DM, I said, our customers deserve better. They're not getting it from Marvel. They're not getting it from DC. They deserve better.
That was the whole foundation of this.
That's what we're here for.
That's right. We heard them loud and clear, when they were complaining on YouTube about the horrible things that Marvel was doing, that the comic book industry was doing to them. We heard them. We came together and said, well, we can do that. We can do that better. We can do that much better. And we can do it. We're trying to do it.
A lot of us are fans too, that would have, if comics went the way that we had hoped it would, and Ethan was rocking it and everything was cool, and Dixon was in charge of DC, and I don't know if a lot of us creators would be here, but we believed in what we loved about classic comics, and we're here to fight for it because it's worth fighting for our kids and our grandkids. And if people don't want to align with that, and I understand people like other things, memes and LARPing. I dig it, groovy, do your thing, but let us do our thing.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. So look, guys, I want to get the band back together. I don't want division between us as creators. And I think I'm willing to listen. My ears are open. I want to make sure that there's some way that we can all get together and do the things that we used to do that used to promote comics. I want people with eyes on the ground looking at the new creators, the new campaigns. We can invite them in and sort of work them in and make sure that their campaigns get the proper attention that they need. I didn't get to do anything for Elliot. Doom Kicker, I didn't even get to promote you like once. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of division. There are a lot of people. I want to be friends with everybody. I want to be internet friends with all of you. Let me in. Let me back in. Let me, let me take care of you guys. I need you guys to take care of me. I need you guys to watch out for me and let me know when I'm pushing it too far on my channel. When I know I seem arrogant, but I am the world's most humble man. I listen. So that's just a message out to everyone. I want to know what you guys think. I don't want to fight with people. I want to sell comics, not just mine, but yours.
And I just want to say that I don't believe, personally, anybody who's DM me or asked me questions, I don't believe Ethan or me or anybody, Donnie, Balin, anybody has wanted anybody to be harassed. That's not what the creators have wanted or have instructed. Nothing. We all love comics as much as you do. That's why we're devoting so much time of our lives to it.
The only person I harass is Andrea. That's it.
You guys are allowed to harass me, but only out of love.
And there's still a lot. There's still a lot of good stuff going on, and I know. I don't know. It's I don't know. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, Comicsgate's in trouble." There are growing pains. I know somebody said that in the chat. But yeah, there's so much good happening. And I see it everywhere. I'm always hearing good news from people regarding progress and comics and all sorts of things. It's awesome. There's something so much better than fighting on the internet. So let's, I don't know, seek for that.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. All of you are awesome. I respect you all and love you all, care about you, want you all to do well. So I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I'm a dummy from New Jersey.
I mean, and I just ask, war campaign guys, this means war. Just remember, when y'all are crying yourselves to sleep, you brought this on yourselves. I have no mercy. This is not war, guys. If you guys are former vets, you're not in anymore. Stop it.
I don't believe comic girl Ava's in the chat. You know what I mean? It's like you're starting to see people come out again. That's really nice. All right, let's see. This was a distraction. They said Archgeek just joined the channel. Thank you. Indie Girl 2020 says EVS Jeremy has been engaging in Comicsgate stuff. Is he making things worse? Which Jeremy? I don't know what that is. Jake, it could be Jeremy Hambley. It could be Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Jake Foley says Kelsey is spot on. Much respect to you, bro. Fresher Luke, thanks for $50. He says, I think War Campaign has made some mistakes. They're passionate people, but you guys should get George Alexopoulos in and ask his opinion. We should be acting in a way that is not becoming an SJW instead of stooping to their level. Good luck. Tim Collins said, this is what I told you the other day. Make a big publishing house. You are the next Stan Lee. F War Campaign, trim all the fat except for the 5XL. Not 5, the 2XL. Perfect Blue says, fans of Comicsgate persona do not equal customers. Listen to the fans of your product. Ignore, don't police. If not, that you've lost your way. Damascus Steel says, as a fellow small business owner, you have skin in the game, customers don't. Your judgments work different and are more tangible than fans and critics. Let's remember that. King of Chura says, EVS is not everyone's daddy. Act like adults.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Critias and Mike S. Miller vanish, says Mr. CPU. Critias felt like he had to leave today. Give people a break.
Mike, Critias, I talked to Critias. He's basically just taking a break from Twitter because of all the drama.
It's ugly out there. It's war right now. We got to make peace. We got to figure this out. And then I really believe people will come back. And the customers aren't going anywhere. The customers don't want this to end. The customers just want this to continue. They want a network of comic book professionals who are promoting and selling independent books that they can be a part of. Mark C says, over a year ago, I super chatted multiple times that I thought Row and War Campaign could be problematic. I hate being a prophet. Hey, you weren't the only one. Matt Rosenfeld says, Uncle E, listen closely. You have inspired your fans. You taught me how to draw in ink. Now I'm working on my first book because of you. Don't feel bad about the actions of some bad apples. Can't wait for Cyberpunk. Thanks, Matt. Captain Hill says, guys, look at Malin and Ritter's new campaigns. They are killing it. Stay out of this SMBS. Let your talents speak for themselves. Comicsgate and everyone wins. John, how's your campaign doing, by the way?
Oh, it's doing freaking awesome. 74,000 raised.
How many days left?
We actually have a $85,000 stretch goal to get Andrew Huerta to do a print. So looking forward to that.
That's a nice thing. Well, how many days do you have left on your campaign?
18 days on the first 30 days. We will be doing the 30-day extension. I'm just being very upfront with that, but I want the 30-day because that way on Indiegogo it spikes up.
Yeah, true. So, people should do that,
Yeah, if no one has backed it yet, please do. Graveyard Shift Volume 2. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. William Forbes says, Ethan, I'm not going to cancel any of my backings, but for now, I think I'm done. Kelsey said it best. I'm just a normie. I can buy a new lawnmower. Sorry, William. Nolan Nerd says, Tug and Yellow Flash, get your asses in here and speak. Are they complaining? Jake Foley says, lessons learned. I'll never set foot in a bakery again. I know that scared the hell out of me. You're just sitting there eating a nice baked good, and you get beaten by like 8 guys.
That's why you always come armed.
Yeah,
conceal carry, everybody. Conceal carry.
Rhino says, I'm outraged. EVS waited for evidence to act. Boo. Yeah, I got to try to be fair. Alan Walker, thanks for $20, says, came late to Cyberfrog and Comicsgate. I backed a lot of campaigns, including the team-up cover, but I will have the Cyberfrog Chromium issue. I shall go to the secondary market for it. You creators are great. Elliot, did you see my Chromium Cyberfrog?
Not yet.
It looked amazing.
Oh,
Ethan, did you like my metal one that was crushed?
It would have been good.
I yelled out like the Joker. I was like,
I was telling somebody, I think Ethan had to like find an asteroid and mine this ancient material out of the stars or something, because like no one knew what it was, you know.
Like everybody now, I saw on Kiwi Farms, they were going back and finding like Ninjak issues and you know, the things that were chromium back in the 90s, and people just forgot what it was. Everybody should do it. I mean, it's, you know, it's expensive. It's not that expensive. It's not prohibitive. You know, but part of I think what Comicsgate should seek to do is create a comic book product that's actually desirable to buy just as an object. You know, that's something. I mean, it's one thing to have a great story and great art, but to actually have a book that looks pretty on the outside like they used to in the 90s is going to sell more comics. And at this point, when you're charging $25 for a comic book plus all the extra incentives, you know, it should look like a Lamborghini if possible. Just make it look pretty as hell. And that's the thing. The mainstream comic book industry, their prices are rising on the cover. The quality is sinking on the inside. I mean, it's cheaper and cheaper paper. Like, why would anybody buy that shit? It just doesn't make any sense. We can do better. Mazamonti says, when will all this fighting, etc. happen? Where does all this fighting, etc. happen? Twitter, 100%. Septonov709 says, Comicsgate's still fun. Mikey Curtis says, I'm not dead yet. Comicsgate isn't dead yet. Drama has hurt my business, though. It overshadows people's books. I'm mad, but I'll persevere. Love you guys. We love you too, Micah. Raging Goblin says, I backed this Vestige and Bigfoot Bill, Earthworm Jim, Cyberfrog, 40 plus others. Comicsgate united and strong. We need to defeat our real enemies, not each other. I want to defeat Antonio, though. A little bit.
I knew it.
I'm opening up that guest room for you, Antonio.
I'll believe it when I see it, and then I will book the next ticket, and I will do a YouTube video on it.
Would you do a YouTube video from my house?
I would have to, man. House? The fans would demand it.
Are you kidding? Fun. Antonio would be in the middle of the pool, you know? Like,
DJ Kong says, I put a high value on the freedom speech, but as a business owner, Elliot made a damn lot of sense to me right there. Elliot just totally saved the whole thing. I mean, you know, it's awesome. Perception is a reality. Doesn't matter if it's true, if it ruins business. Yours or theirs, or anybody that feels chased off. Thanks, Harry Bergeron, for that. That is true. Bogus Fortune says, you harass Mike constantly, you liar. Let me check Bitcoin real quick.
Oh, no.
In case Mike's here. Oh, it went up $400. Damn it. All right. Good job. Let's see. Zimgeek says, hail you all. So many stifled creators over the last few decades that just want to create good comics. This art form needs Comicsgate. Indie Girl 2020 says, Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. Sorry, too many Jeremys. Yeah. Mark C says, I can't believe this comes from grown men. What?
We're trying to fix it, man.
We're comic book artists. What the hell are you talking about? People like they're grown men. We're 15-year-olds in adult men's bodies. We draw superhero stories. Knock it off. Don't expect too much from us. Professor Geek says, I'm proud to associate with you all. The Comicsgate ideals have made a huge impact. We'll get through this with due care and continue to make history. And Max Rebo says, my first Chromium comic was Generation X #1. Can't wait. Bring back the Summer of Love. Well, it is summer.
X.
It is summer. And it could be the Summer of Love. Grown ass men, you're right. Grown men, grown 15-year-olds in men's bodies. Grundy Born on a Monday says Elliot's Doom Kicker is still in demand on Indiegogo.
Yes, it is.
What did that get to? What did Doom Kicker get to?
We're at 48,165.
Let's get it to 50, guys. We're right around the corner from $50,000. Go. If you enjoyed Elliot's story and want to support Elliot, you can get him to $50,000 pretty quickly if you all go check out Doom Kicker on Indiegogo. And King Achura says Bitcoin is gay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was an LGBTQ cyber currency. I had no idea. I didn't know they made those.
I think it's trans.
Is it trans? Now that they have, I'm more likely to support it, though. I'm going to virtue signal and buy Bitcoin. Oliver EVS Twist says, I booked quite a few books today. Backed quite a few books today. Thank you for doing that, guys. I mean, endlessly. You guys are fantastic. Thank you guys in the chat. I know this was a controversial stream. I know it was rough to get through, but stuff needed to be said. Some changes are going to be made. Some changes are going to be made. Some people are going to like them. Some people aren't. But I think they're necessary for the reasons elucidated. Martyr Media says, what do you guys think about a time-traveling bird called the Ret Condor and his steed, the booty hole walrus? A booty hole-faced walrus that farts through a tube to power the jet engine strapped to its back.
Yes. It needs to be made.
Elliot, would you draw that?
What's that now?
Well, it's a
booty hole. No.
Yeah, it's a walrus with a booty hole for a face.
No, I'm good. Well, I mean, it's a lot of money, but I'm just saying.
Some people appreciate art.
Yeah. Vinny Art is here. He says, let's keep making amazing comics and supporting the future of comics. Back City of Venus, Dead City. And Scott says, backdoor kickers on Indiegogo. And somebody says, thoughts on Shinobi Sasquatch Indiegogo campaign. I think it's great. And for some reason, I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much. I think Shinobi Sasquatch looks like a fantastic book, and I was proud to support it. I have a secondary room on Twitter where I invite a lot of new creators, guys who don't normally come on the show, like not the traditional cast. And he's in there. Cal is in there. Shinobi Sasquatch is awesome. Every time he comes on, he gets whacked. Like, people are kind of rude to him in the audience, and it makes me feel like something's up. I support this comic because it is a fantastic looking comic book. I mean, it's a great idea. It is a great looking book. I don't know what else you want. I mean, it's excellent. So go check out Shinobi Sasquatch. All right. So I guess, I'll let everyone go. Is that how you end a live stream? Like, you get off the telephone? I'll let you all go now. I got something on the stove. Gark777 says, just a bunch of big 5XL boys, at least one of you. Well, who?
Me.
Yeah. Quite a
I'm pretty
few
fat.
of us.
Pretty fat. Yeah. I legit wear 4 or 5XL.
Yeah. Purple Smurf says, monkeys set up a little table next to Uncle E's hot dog stand. Then when customers get hit with poop and complain, the monkeys say, you don't like Caesar? Have some poop. Hot dog sales go down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Purple Smurf 13.
It's vivid.
Yeah, better than donuts. Yeah.
And that's extra good because I actually like monkeys a lot. And if monkeys did set up next to me, I'd be like, cool, I like monkeys. And I'd want to hang out with the monkeys. So that's extra, that is extra apt. David Hervey says, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers didn't say anything bad about Comicsgate. Somebody asked him about Comicsgate in the super chat. He said he doesn't know what's going on with Comicsgate. There you go. Okay, so problem solved. All right, thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate you all in the chat, and I appreciate everyone on the panel. And we will see you all again probably tomorrow. I don't know. Is anybody running a live stream right now?
Yeah, I'll set one up. I'll do kind of a cool down on this one. I'm going to talk to Von Klaus. Monster MD is wrapping up here, I think, in 16 hours. So we're going to have a little conversation for a bit.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. And off we go.